Hello and welcome everyone to the muchly awaited part 2 of the foremost epic Persona 3 fans in the world. Finally finished Persona 3 Reload, and we're here to talk about it.
We got the full party.
No deaths happened in the meantime, thankfully.
Wow. Well, say that to my soul, Jim.
So I'm Jim. How's it going?
I'm Sam.
And we have two guests, our returning guests, the Persona Maniacs. We have Aeon Star.
Hey.
And we got Tectonic Improv.
I wanted to think of something clever. I couldn't think of anything.
Well, if only you take a deep breath, you could have avoided this.
I was considering that.
the mass destruction of this introduction. So
I was gonna go with like an Ace Defective kind of thing going there, but I couldn't think of one either.
Oh yeah, well more like
shit's going down.
Reload it.
Yeah, it's one of those things, like that whole like meme, the Yukari cursing meme blowing up when the game like first came out again was really funny to me. Just because it's one of those things, like I don't know, like there's a couple memes that I've seen since their inception, like that have been around since like 2011, and then you just see them come up again and it's like, oh, hello old friend. I like when those things happen.
I'm enjoying the Alex Lee stuff that he's been doing with like the Help Me and the Lemons one, like with the other voice actors from the game. They've been great.
Watched the Fuka one where Fuka is like, it's like the Mario
puppet?
Yeah, it's the no, that one's really funny, but it's the Mario 64 intro, like where Peach is like, dear Mario, but it's Fuka. She's like, dear leader, do not come to the dorm. I baked an absolute poo-poo cake.
Completely fucked it up.
I've listened to that maybe 400 times.
That one and like
so
the
funny.
puppet Fuka with like
well, that was beforehand, right?
I know, but still, it's all I like to see Fuka as.
Okay, this is actually a good little starting topic. So, one thing that because I listened back to our Persona podcast a few weeks ago,
I did
a month
too.
ago.
Oh, bless you.
One thing that we talked about was, and I agreed. I think Tech said it was like, I hope that I can just adjust to the new voices quickly, and honestly, yeah. I did. I found myself for the most part adjusting to the new voices very quickly. I think the new dubcast was pretty good.
Yeah, I think Akihiko took me the longest to get used to, but
yes, me too.
It's his voice was the most different, I think, but I think he actually did a pretty good job.
Yeah, I think so too,
especially in the October scene.
Yeah,
I
definitely agree with that
was
too.
Just like a general highlight of the game, just like completely across the board. It was very good.
Yeah, besides that, though, the game kind of sucked.
2 out of 10, too much water.
Take it or leave it.
Yeah, that is a really... So yeah, general thoughts then. I'll go first. I definitely really, really liked the game. I thought it was very good. I enjoyed my time with it. I didn't do the thing I normally do with Persona games where I put it down for a month and come back to it. I actually was like very consistent and played it through.
Yeah.
We'll talk about this more, but I think I have a lot of like really like mushy, crunchy thoughts about certain things, but I don't want to get too deep into it. But I will say it wasn't like overall. I think that Persona FES might be better. That's kind of my hot take. I'm still kind of marinating on it.
We'll get into that.
Yeah, there's still gonna be some subcategories we're gonna have to talk about for this game, but
it was a delight. It felt like a real love letter to Persona 3 for me, and I can't lie. I loved playing it. I love seeing the stuff I missed from the first time, and Sam, what were your general thoughts?
Kind of thing. I enjoy my time playing through it, play it consistently. I really enjoy it, especially like, a lot of the new like social link stuff with the guides and having them all voiced out made it like so much better.
I'm not too familiar with Portable. Was most of the content from the Portable social links like a big part of these new hangout scenes?
I don't. The guy hangout scenes.
Yeah.
Yeah, like
they were not
episodes.
in there. Like only if you did like the FemC routes, the only time you were allowed to really social link.
But yeah, the social links. Like, was that?
I did not
content?
get the. I did not really get to play the FemC route that much because I was borrowing the PSP with me and my sister, so like I didn't really have a chance to sit through and play through that, and she kind of kept the PSP.
All right.
But yeah, I'm
not figured that out so far.
I believe the Ryoji stuff is it's not taken whole cloth from Portable, but it's based off of stuff that happens in Portable with him.
But yeah, overall, like a lot of good additions to this game, and there's one story thing that I need to talk about later on because this wasn't it didn't happen in my initial playthrough.
Just get this out of the way. Are we doing spoilers now immediately, or are we waiting until later on?
We gave them some fucking time. It's April 24th. If you wanted to play the game, you would have played it by now. Especially if you listen to the other podcast where we spoiled the shit out of the game.
I guess when we get to the category, I will talk about it because I told Jim about it and he did not know at all.
But this apparently was a thing. Let's just mention it so that they're not in the dark. This is apparently a thing that was in the original game where if you do certain things, what's her name? Oh my god, I can't
Chihiro.
Chidori, thank you. Does not die.
Yeah,
you guys didn't know that? I talked about this on last.
I must have like not registered it.
I don't remember what the conditions were in the in FES, but that definitely was
something about flowers. You have to like check flowers or something.
Yeah,
because like
they kind of changed it.
Women like flowers and shit.
Yeah, you had to like do that.
Women be.
You kind of had to do that in this game to get to that, like, because you had to do all of Junpei's, and you got to do like basically all the side activity. But like,
it's a lot easier.
Is it easier? I thought they put it further out of the way.
I don't recall. If you've done his like Link episodes, the game is basically like begging you to do it.
They're so spread out that you can forget about it.
Oh, I totally didn't do his. I didn't like. I don't love Junpei, so I didn't do his.
Really?
And so in my game, she's
all
dead.
of those right away.
That bitch is dead. So.
I just ignored it, and she's dead in my game too because I like that more.
Really?
It just makes like the super that Junpei can get very funny. That like this third G super that he unlocks.
It's kind of evil.
No,
it's kind of horrible. It's almost worse that she lives because like the whole thing is that she gave her persona to him and it merged. So he literally stole her soul. I guess she's just like a husband.
Well, okay. I mean, her persona literally tried to strangle her. So is that really like a terrible thing?
Hey, same thing happened in JoJo Part 3 with Holly Stand. The stand. I treat personas and stands pretty analogously. Maybe that's like my own fault, but like the stand is like a reflection of your soul. That's why the persona, I guess the persona technically is just like a facet of you. Whatever. This is dumb.
You know, when Iggy gave Ponar
Angel
the
for
fool.
Archangel, my soul evolves.
Carl Jung is logged in.
God, but no, I still hated that, but no, overall I really did like the game, and it's still pretty damn good.
Aeon, do you want to give us your thoughts?
Yeah. I'm actually surprised that, like, because going into the game, my main, like, priorities were to see content that wasn't in the original game, like,
yes.
So, like, whenever there was a hangout with one of the middle party members, or, something
the
to
study
that
events,
effect,
I think, are new.
or the study events, like, I would make a beeline for them and try to do them immediately just in case. So, like, yeah. So
especially during like important story details, those study things just are like great character moments.
The writing for like the new content in the game is really good. Like, really good. I think it adds a lot, for the most part.
Yeah, I agree. I think if I can say just something really quick, I think it really does like. It takes advantage of the ambiguity or like the little bits in between that aren't as fleshed out, and gives them a lot more character. Which this is, and I'll get into my point later about the Persona 5ification of Persona 3, but it certainly is more of a written aspect. Like more focus is put onto that the narrative aspect.
Right.
Sorry,
yeah, there's a lot to be said about like how basically treating Persona 3 with a lot of the design sensibilities of Persona 5 and how that impacts the overall experience. But generally speaking, I thought Reload was very good. And like immediately after finishing the game, I was like, this is a good game, and I can tell it was made by people who really cared about doing justice to the original game. Like, that was my main come away from it. And then as I let the experience marinate a bit, as time went along, I got like a week or so, and I was revisiting a lot of the stuff from FES, and the film adaptations, and some like
about the
a few
movies.
scenes of like portable, just like general content relating to the original game, I started to gradually have more and more appreciation for a lot of stuff added into Reload, and I genuinely think, despite FES originally being my favorite game of all time, I think it might have supplanted it. I really enjoyed it.
The gas.
That is not where I was expecting this to go. I was expecting
either.
Aeon Star to go scorched fucking earth. Be like, they actually, the more I thought about it, the more I realized they fucking ruined it. Everything sucks. It's like, damn, this is gonna be
No,
cool.
it's really good. It's really good. It's very impressive.
All right, Intech, your thoughts? How much you hated this game?
Oh, it was pretty good. No. Okay. I thought it was great. I thought it was a great remake of an already great game, much like Aeon, and I think the rest of you guys. I feel like we're all sort of in agreement, but just like it's almost like a reverse of Aeon Star. Like the more I thought about Reload, the more I liked Fess.
Mm-hmm.
Almost like back in the back of my head. There's just like a lot of small things with Reload that just kind of like make me like wring my hands around and be like, ugh. But like the overall package is just it's really slick.
Yeah.
And like the quality of life is just completely unmatched. Well, okay, hang on. Not unmatched. It is just far greater than it is in Persona 3, where like I can get really uppity when people like talk about like, oh, what should I play, the original or the remake, and like I'll usually like be like you should probably play the original because the remake does this and that. I would be totally fine if
say,
someone
like, do you want to control your party members or not?
yeah exactly. Like I would be totally like I feel like people could get why people like Persona 3 just by playing the remake, and I think that's a pretty good accomplishment.
Right.
Yeah.
I think
That
there's
said-
definitely
Yeah.
arguments in favor of the original game. A lot can be said that it like did certain stylistic things better. The tone is much better, maybe, depending on your perspective on that. Like it's very much not the exact same game and makes a lot of different design choices, but I think a lot of them are genuinely like valid in Reload, and just because it's different doesn't necessarily mean it's worse. And like certain ones I jived with more, and certain ones I think FES does better. But yeah.
Yeah, I really think that like as far as a remake goes, you probably can't do better. I can't think of a time. Maybe if you have counterexamples, I'd love to hear them. I can't think of a time I played a game and played a remake. Which one?
Fire Emblem Echoes.
That's
Okay.
almost like a completely different game.
I never
but
touched
yeah.
that.
Kind of, but
Yeah.
like it's to the point where the faithfulness to the original game ends up holding it back more than any other aspect.
That's
Just
very
gotta play
funny.
Gaiden, bro. Talking to Jim, not Aeon.
Yeah, but I'm really I was just generally impressed with a lot of it. Something I really did like too, and like I was listening to another gaming podcast that I kind of like. I kind of don't like it, but they were talking a lot about friction. They were talking about Dragon's Dogma 2, a game I've not played. But they're talking about like friction in games and like elements that kind of like are difficult to get into. And something that I saw a lot of people talking about online was how not difficult, but how the first few months of the game are not really like super welcoming. Like I feel like in Persona 5, for example, the game is like kind of really trying to wow you and like walk you through it as quick as it can.
Like the
Even
in
though it's
media
kinda slow.
res and stuff like that.
Yeah, it literally like the first
Yeah,
scene, it like
that's-
gives you the big blowout. Like, oh, what's the hook? This
flash
game is
forward.
literally just like you were gonna
Such a
play
mistake. They
like,
shouldn't have done that.
what are you doing, Joker? How did you know how to break out of?
How did you know how to pick locks? How did you know? I need to understand this.
You must have known to pick a lockpick, man.
Look at all these mysterious silhouettes. You'll never figure out who they are.
But like, I really appreciated that they let the game kind of slowly build. Like we were talking about like tone and how there's kind of maybe you could probably say a tonal difference between the two games, the remake and original or FES, whatever. I don't want to get too like nitty gritty, but
people will know what you're talking about if you say the original.
Yeah, but I really appreciated that. Like that slow pace is really like a humongous part of Persona, in my opinion. Like the Persona 3 games, because I'm one of those fans that started 3 is the first number in the list of numbers.
I mean, yeah, you really go like right into it. Yeah, it is the initial like very strong, and you get right away. And you kind of get thrown into it. It feels really good compared to 4. But if you go to 4, it takes a year to like get.
You have to go to the gas station first. You have to talk to Nanako about her favorite TV show.
That guy has to touch your hand.
It's like 8 hours.
Who actually is evil? Who's the actual
anything?
It's like Persona 4, and this is like a dead fucking horse because everyone knows that Persona 4 takes forever to start up. But like you play it like the first time, I'm just like imagining, like back when Persona 4 was new, it's almost like you're playing an anime, and I think that's kind of a strength of Persona 4's like fuck off long opening is that it feels, and all like Persona 3 and 5 feel like this too. But like the slow start for 4 kind of like helps you get into Inaba as a setting as like a quiet small town with like something really fucked up has just happened. But no, it sucks.
I can't wait for Persona 4
cool
remake.
that they kept that they kept the kind of slow start to P3 because it really does want you to like explore the world. And one thing that's really like a quality of life change is that you can teleport around now. Like in FES, people forget this. I don't because I streamed it recently. In FES, you literally every day have to physically leave the school if you want to go outside the school, which is like 3 different screens you have to walk through, and it's like it's kind of hilarious and insane.
In the classrossm, but yeah,
but it makes you.
I guess that is
like
true, but I forgot about that.
It's a weird place to put a warp. It's odd.
Yeah. It should have been like a map
Everyone
or
has a guy in their
something.
class that teleports you outside.
Yeah, you got to talk to the guy who teleports you outside. Obviously, Jim. Jesus. God, first day on planet Earth. Come on, man.
Yeah, like there's something to be said about like the fact that just pressing a button and just like teleporting essentially to wherever you want to go, it doesn't really feel as much like you get into a routine of stuff and like the whole elements of the game. But at that point, like, you're just wasting so much time on stuff that
teleporting
you don't really
around
be doing.
was all I had.
Yes.
Oh yes,
That was all I had. I'm used to that. That's all I had to do.
Because you played a visual novel, you didn't play a JRPG.
You didn't play the real game.
I had to look around a JPEG of the area, but
You played Steins Gate.
Everybody was playing Persona. I was playing
Persona
Steins
3. This is Steins Gate.
Jim, what was the character? What was that one girl character that always says?
Doo-to-doo?
Doo-to-doo, there we go.
Oh, yeah.
I told Sam about that, and he was like, oh my god, is she literally like a D-to-D? Like,
Does she love Clothesman Sia?
yeah.
Jesus Christ. Is anyone going to get that?
No.
No, it's like a 2004 show.
It's a horrible
Well,
joke.
I guess if you play Persona 3, you would have gotten it.
You're old enough.
Back in the day.
But yeah, speaking of Persona 3, very good game. I liked it. But
I think you make a good point about the slow start of Persona 3, just like from the fact that like its most popular character isn't introduced to you until like a third of the way through the game.
When is it June?
It is.
You mean the mascot character?
Yeah, the mascot
the
character.
Mascot.
The mascot
it is
character.
crazy.
And
like
the
that
statue they literally sold special editions for. You do not see that woman until like 20 hours into the game.
And that's when the game starts.
Kinda. I was following a guy who was playing Persona 3 for the very first time. Simsy Fart on Twitter, and he was like literally like, when does Iga show up? And I was like, give it, like, it's gonna be a bit. It's like kind of crazy how long they wait for it.
Because they didn't really make Igus with the intent for her to be a mascot character. Like, that just came after when they kind of needed to assign something to everyone after they had Teddy and Morgana.
Yeah.
It's nice when they don't try to make a mascot character.
It could have just as easily been
clearly
Koromaru.
a retrofitted role.
Yeah.
It's a retrofitted role for sure. That's why you had debates endlessly about who the real mascot of Persona 3 is, like it even matters.
It's like them trying to refit Persona 2 to fit the same like color scheme thing that 3 onwards has. Like, it just doesn't really make all that much sense because it doesn't really like adhere so strictly to it in the same way.
Yeah.
But speaking of the beginning of the game, I know I just like praised this game and said it might be my new favorite game of all time, but I have a lot of problems with the beginning of the game, especially like the opening cutscene. The opening cutscene and the awakening of Orpheus. Those are like my two greatest grievances with the game. I do not think they're anywhere near as good as not only the original like in FES, but like even I'm pretty sure the movie adaptation did it better.
So this is like what I was joking about, but it's not a joke, it's real. The Persona 5ification of Persona 3. And I would say it's not even like as evident in the cutscenes, but the cutscenes in the original Persona game, Persona 3, have an incredible vibe. It is so like it's something that it feels very much like a throwback to like something like Lane almost. It has a very like that sort of scary.
It's the only Persona game with good anime cutscenes.
True.
I stand by this. It's the only one with good ones. I forget the name of the studio that worked on them, but all the other ones, and including this one. Sorry, Wit Studio, but
Wit did it.
They don't look that good.
I told Jim this a little bit, where like I was actively looking forward to the in-game model like cutscenes more because they looked the model looked so good.
They did look very good.
At points, I disagree with that, but like I do not think the Awakening was a good choice to do in engine. Like, I'm sorry, but Inflation Orpheus with Thanatos charging out, and then you don't have the snap of the magician shadow. Like, nothing about that scene felt anywhere close to like either the interpretation of the movie or the original game, where like it feels visceral. Thanatos doesn't feel visceral in Reload at all. I don't give a shit about Thanatos in Reload. He's kind of just like eh.
I mean, I agree with you. I don't think that I wasn't like really wowed by. I didn't like. I was kind of surprised to see people like really tearing into it on Twitter after the fact. But yeah, I wasn't really impressed by the Awakening cutscene like it was in the original. But I think that's kind of an outlier, which is kind of sad because it's like the opening of the game, so you want to look really cool. But like I all the other 3D cutscenes, for the most part, I don't remember any of them looking particularly poor. But and also I just don't really, I don't know if the anime studio would have really like done a good job on the Awakening as like as opposed to the pre-rendered cutscene.
I think in the movie it wasn't the same exact interpretation of how it was done in FES or the original. Like there was a significantly different way that they like did cinematography for that specific scene. They had their own spin on it, their own interpretation, but I think it was like still solid and it was a good version of that. But like the original, just like the mood of it, everything that's good about FES's cutscenes is exemplified in that cutscene specifically, and a lot of it takes advantages of like the benefits of 2D as a medium rather than 3D. So like stuff like the Orpheus's body like shattering apart when Thanatos like rips out of it. The expressiveness of Thanatos's like movements, essentially, the way that like Thanatos just growls up into the ether and then like suddenly it just like flashes, glitches,
I'm literally watching it as you're describing it. This is amazing.
I feel like it's Orpheus again.
It's really cool because like things are going right in that cutscene, and then like something very, very terrible has just happened, and like Orpheus is literally.
It's very
It feels wrong. Like Thanatos like tears him apart from inside. It's really fucked up.
Like
It's
this
cool.
is what you want to happen. This is like this is the thing that's solving the problem, but there is something that's not quite right about it that kind of freaks
It
you
also,
out.
I mean, like, and this is like still intact because like the text of the cutscene is still there, but it does sort of establish personas as like these things are like serious business. They're fucked up, and like
Yes, all right.
you need to keep them in control.
Yes, the fact that like Thanatos goes completely out of control and is not like under the influence of the protagonist, that kind of sets up a lot of the stuff with like Shinjiro later on much better, which it doesn't really make as much sense in Reload, where the personas are treated more like actual implements than like parts of the individual to a much greater degree. You still have stuff like Medea and whatever that kind of reinforces it, but I think like Thanatos' actions during that scene really give you that impression.
It's funny you said it's like very Evangelion inspired. That was definitely an echo that I felt throughout the game, honestly. Just that inspiration. There's the one shot, like, as I'm watching the original cutscene right now.
It is a lot like episode 2 of Evangelion, isn't it?
It even has
Thanatos
like
even kind of looks like Eva 01.
yeah. There's one motion that Thanatos' hand makes when it kind of grips the like. It just looks very much like something an Ava would do. Like when the Avas go berserk.
Is it when it crushes the arm of the shadow?
Yeah. And just even like the way he's like crushing there's like a little goo pile that he's crushing. But in general, and that's like what I'm really getting at when I'm saying that this game feels very Persona 5 like affied is the character designs in the original game. Like people love to make fun of like scuffed Fuka,
The necks.
the necks and things, but like they really do have a very distinct style, and
You want to
the new
cross-eyed
ones,
Fuka
to
so
me,
bad.
they look very much like they're trying to like recanonize this into like what the modern Persona style looks like.
Yeah.
Which I don't see anyone talking about, and I guess people are fine with it, but I guess that's just a good reason to revisit the original. It's got the S word, the dreaded S word. I don't want to say out loud.
Well, you're gonna have to, because I have no idea what you're talking about.
Yeah.
Say the line, Jim.
Soul.
Oh yeah. All right. Speaking of Savol, I have in my hands on my telephone a note list that I wrote while I was playing the game in preparation for this podcast months ago. I've got several items on here, and I'm going to pepper them throughout this podcast when applicable. So here's one of the entries. Savolis dorm lighting. Now this sort of
Yes.
This leans into. I'm kind of a little more okay with it after playing the whole game because I like what they do in January with the lighting. But besides that, this sort of leads me into a greater point I want to make, because like everyone has beaten this horse to death at this point. It was the first thing anyone was talking about. I think Jim even brought this up like the day it was announced, or leaked rather, if you recall. So Persona 3 Reload, it feels kind of cheap in like all sorts of areas. There's just a sort of and like I say this and I don't really want to come across as like it's like, oh man, they really fucked this up or anything, because the original Persona 3 is kind of a cheap game too. But the fact that the fidelity is like way higher now, it sort of makes your expectations rise in tandem, especially considering this game was $70 when it came out.
God, yeah.
So it just sort of all kind of coalesces, and whenever something like I could just like kind of feel like I understand why you did that way, because it was easier, but it doesn't look that great. And like the Savolis dorm lighting, I don't think that's like a cheap thing. Maybe it is. Maybe it's. I don't want to be like uninformed guy on YouTube talking about game engines or anything, but it's just something everyone obviously noticed. and I just wanted to point it out. I think
Okay.
like a major. Well, sorry, what?
All right. I have a bit of experience with this because I work with Unreal Engine, and that's the engine that was used for Reload. I wouldn't say
Unreal
that.
4 they use or 5?
What?
4. It was. I'm pretty sure it was 4 for Reload.
Unreal
I'm
4?
pretty
Okay.
sure it was 4. I don't think they used 5. They might have upgraded like late in development, but 5 is pretty recent. But
yeah, this game was in development for a while. So
Okay.
like the lighting wouldn't really have much to do with anything in like the engine or anything like that. It wouldn't also be anything related to like fidelity or anything. I think the whole reason that the dorm looks the way it does is just because they want it to be easier to look at and clearer. Which, like, did you all like turn down the brightness early on in the game? Because I ended up
did.
doing that.
I did.
I
a
do
didn't.
think that actually
Yeah.
fixes a lot of the stuff. Like,
So,
Interesting.
I didn't, and I think like I wasn't bothered as much as you guys because I just looked at JPEGs when I played the game originally, so like it just didn't bother me.
Sam's like, it's fucking awesome. Wow,
Yeah, this is
everything's so
great.
clear.
there's definitely something to be said about like going from portable to this because a lot of my problems, like as I said with the opening cutscene, I
Oh, yeah,
don't
you
like
guys went
as
through
much.
hell, and I'm just sipping here. drinking my
Yeah,
soda.
the opening cutscene I don't like as much because they did it similarly to how it was done in portable, where like there's a lot of stuff that wasn't even like voiced in the original cutscene that is
Yeah.
just like explicitly said out, like Yukari being like, I can't do this. I can't. No, I can't do this. I can't shoot myself. No.
Persona is nothing if not wordy. It
Yeah.
likes to explain itself to you.
That's like one of the
Great
benefits of
vegetables.
Reload in a lot of places, and also one of its biggest like downfalls. Like none of the dialogue that was
stance.
added to the
The s-
opening cutscene should have been added. It should have just like been left the same way.
All right. And like the I just use the dorm lighting as like a punching
Yeah.
bag because like everyone will know what I'm talking about. But for those who have played the full game, there's another thing that I like immediately noticed and like it just kind of bothered me, and it has to do with the hot spring scene. So if you'll recall,
Yeah.
Persona 3 Fest Gamers in the original game. You accidentally entered the hot spring scene at girls' time. So the girls come in and there'll be this horrible misunderstanding if they catch you. So you need to hide from them. And this is all done in real time. They're like looking for you like it's Metal Gear Solid 2, except way worse. But in Reload, and maybe Sam, maybe this is like this in Portable, like the same way, where instead you pick dialogue options, like, and whichever one. Like,
Yes, it was
depending on
that.
which one.
It's
Okay.
options.
Okay, so it's like that in Portable. That makes sense. Maybe that's why they did it. But like my immediate thought was like they just didn't really want to bother with like a weird sort of almost like stealth mini game, and instead just opted
Yeah.
for text boxes, probably because it was easier to do.
I also don't think
And,
the
you know,
movement
that's kind of
system
an
would have
assumption.
worked well for it.
It just kind of stood out to me. And then there's like the classic cases of like Persona characters like they need to like do something for a scene, like when Shinji gets punched by Akihiko. They can't like animate like a bespoke animation of Akihiko like punching Shinji and then Shinji being like, oh, that hurt really bad. So instead they just use
fade
the
to
battle
black.
animations. Or oh my god, the fucking fade to black. If you play Fire Emblem, you will fucking die if you do a drinking game with that shit. It's the same type of way with Persona, or just like that sort of like, it's cheaper to do this, and I just thought it was just like a thing in the back of my mind whenever I play the game. I just kind of like run into it like it's like poison damage or something. And
One
then,
of those
Yeah.
that really bothered me was the clubs. Like how in the original game you would choose one or
Oh.
two clubs.
yes.
And
I
it
was
wouldn't
confused
bother
by
me
that.
so much in Reload that they like specifically stuck you to just one of them. If they didn't choose the wrong clubs, like come on, like you're going to tell me you're not going to have him go 1 to the Kendo Club, our sword user protagonist, and
picked
2, the music club, our protagonist who's always wearing headphones.
Yeah, it just sort of seems like slightly cheap.
Yeah.
It's the same thing with just like the environmental design is like very faithful to the original game to a fault.
Yeah.
That's what I was thinking of. Like sometimes I would enter like the full moon events and I would be like, wow, I totally forget like 90% of the full moon events. Like I can't wait to re-experience them and re-remember them. And so many of them I was like, oh, there really wasn't like much to this originally. Like
No.
the one that like I felt that the most with was the tank one, where it's like, oh, I'm just kind of running down like an alley,
They added
straight
more
alley.
to the tank one.
They did. I noticed that. I was like, whoa, you like turn sometimes. That's crazy.
It's just funny because, like, in my opinion, they go all out with some of the. I mean, clearly they have to like remake the whole game. It's not like they just like were like, let's touch the graphics up. They remade the whole game, so that's why it's so weird to me when they like so slavishly chose to stay with certain like environmental, like you said, like environmental layouts and the order of certain events. I thought that was like. I mean, I kind of appreciated it from way I was like, you know what, they really do want to keep like that close to the original experience, but at the same time, it's like maybe we could have like spiced this up a little bit.
There are very clear like budgeting issues that are prevalent in this game because one, that they're also making it simultaneously with Persona 6. Like, there's no way they aren't. Yeah. This is, I think, mostly the same team that's probably going to be working on that because the original like main guys are over on Metaphor Refantasio, and
finally a good Persona game.
Yeah.
It doesn't have dating, Jim, so you can't play it.
No, that makes it better.
You tell that to most Persona fans or like people like, oh, this is like my Fire Emblem game. I can romance too.
They're gonna
Tune
start
in next week for the Metaphor podcast.
Have you? Yeah, right. Have you seen all those protests happening in Columbia University? It's all the Persona fans that heard there's not going to be dating in Metaphor.
It's all for Metaphor.
Really, you're gonna go there?
God damn.
I'm sorry. No, we stand with Palestine, obviously.
I thought it wasn't 3 houses.
But yeah, like to the point where they're like, yeah, we don't have the budget to include the female protagonist. Like, there's obviously like certain things where they had to cut corners in order to, small indie company, $70 product.
Well, people also thought it could potentially be like a royal situation where they just re-release it with like that as an option.
I don't think that's like in the cards right now.
It's not going to happen.
They have enough people for that to do that right now.
I'm pretty sure they already said it's not happening at all.
If it's happening, it's going to happen like after a future remake, like of 4 or 2.
Yeah. I said that's the only possible way I think that would happen if they did like a royal edition for the reload. But
small indie company. I would honestly like excuse some of the cheapness more if it wasn't a $70 game, and of course, like
plus
now,
all the special
I'm pretty sure you
stuff.
can get it for like.
They're not gonna put the money to a game that doesn't have a Smash Brothers character in it.
God, it's so wild that the Answer DLC is not included with the special editions.
That's crazy.
That is
I didn't
ridiculous.
know that.
That is not like okay.
It's not.
This is actually like the Aegis edition. You don't have episode Aegis.
Yeah, I'm definitely gonna be my copy of the game was a gift, but even still, I'm gonna be sitting pretty and waiting. I ain't gonna day one that DLC. That's for sure.
Just got so mad the person that gets it to you.
That's a good question.
DLC does sometimes.
It's $35 fucking bucks.
Yeah.
It's $35.
Yes.
So
what? You can only buy it with the season pass.
Oh my god.
Yeah,
okay.
Jim, you can get other stuff like skins and music.
I mean, okay, real ones will remember the classic YouTube video, Persona 4 Platinum Edition. We've known this for years. We've known Atlas is like this for years.
Atlas be doing this.
They've been doing Mitama DLC
because...
since the 3DS. Like, Ugh.
I just see people like being like, "Oh, Sega has really ruined this company." It's like, nah,
No.
dude. They were selling you like special editions of the games again since fucking Nocturne. Okay, they've been like this.
Literally the meme, the Dante from the Devil May
That's
Cry.
yeah.
Literally.
I mean, like we were lucky because they just released that one in the West, but they did that. They did that shit.
Featuring, yeah.
Which do you want, Maniacs or El Dante?
Yeah.
And like we're kind of in a Sega Renaissance period right now. Like they're like game.
All
They're
I'm saying
still,
is, Alice
like-
is fucking lucky. They're making the best fucking RPGs in the industry.
Yeah.
Right? They're lucky
It's
that
true.
they're on their A game right
They're-
now,
they're
and
making
everyone
a
else
weird-
is fumbling the bag.
And they're making Crazy Taxi and Jet Set Radio return.
Well, all right, I'm not gonna hold my breath on those, but
I do have to say I'm a fake Atlas fan. I've not picked up the new Vanillaware game. I feel like a true
I
betrayer.
haven't either. There's
Ignore
too many
Overlord.
things.
Nobody.
Yeah.
They released it at the worst possible time they could have released it.
it seems to be selling well enough without
Oh, that's good.
without us 13 Sentinels heads.
Yeah.
I unfortunately I haven't bought it either. I
I don't have
was
time.
I was
Okay.
playing.
Basically
back
a
to
Fire
playing.
Emblem game from the creators of 13 Sentinels. Like, I would be on that if I had the
Ogre Battle,
time.
but
Yeah, I'm very excited. Well, one day I will get to your beautiful game Vanillaware, but until then, I will be talking about Persona 3.
But,
So yeah,
should
Persona
we,
3 horrible
should we talk
game,
about the
terrible.
music?
All right, it's
Should we
time to
talk
talk
about
about the
the
fucking music. So
Because
okay,
this is like the hottest topic of
some days, if you want to go ahead, something, I'll be chilling on my bed and minding my
mind your biz.
So mind your own biz.
biz.
I've been talking about singing the music.
I was there's a
Alright.
very funny story. So I was hanging out with some friends on Discord, and we were about to watch the newest episode of Murder Drones, which is called Mass Destruction. And then I was like, "Oh, have you guys heard the new Persona, the reload version?" So we sat and we listened to like all of the new versions of the songs, and we listened to the old one and the new one, and I got like used to the new songs. I was like, "Yeah, I like the remixes." And then after going back and listening to the old ones, I was like, "Oh no, like." Oh, why did they, like, I don't want to say everyone's a downgrade because that's not true, but there's so many choices in the new remixes that I'm just like, why did you do that? One of the ones, like, in Mass Destruction, the changing Baby Baby to Baby Baby is so sauceless. It's
I think
just
that's just how she
sauceless.
talks, Jim.
But no, it's Baby Baby. It sounds so much better. Baby Baby sounds so much more labored. The yeahs aren't as good. It's the stupid like spring sound. You know that spring sound.
I just imagine
like,
Jim in the recording
kinda
booth just
like
like
squish
yelling
sound.
at her like Gordon Ramsay. It's like it's baby baby.
It's Baby Baby. Yeah, there's that. I honestly like the new Dorm mix. I kind of like the
I like it
Lotus
too.
Lotus Use riffed off of like what was just like a sample CD.
Yeah.
So I
think
I
that was a
made
good
sure
choice. That was smart.
Yeah,
I made sure
thought
to
that was good.
always ambush so I could always get it going down because like my favorite.
Oh my god, can
song.
we at least give a round of applause to this game for having the first Persona re-release to have a good new battle theme?
It's so good.
Oh,
It's
come
like
on.
my favorite
I,
battle
like,
theme.
I
I
like
think.
Takeover. I like
It's fine. It's fine.
Time-
It's not as good.
Time to Make History. Time to Make History isn't
I
as
love
Time to
good.
Make History
Make
sucks. I hate
History.
Time to Make
I
I-
love Time to Make
I-
History.
Tell
I'll
you
kill
the
you.
truth is so fucking better. It
This
is
is
Reach Out to the
crazy how much
Truth
better
is a
it is.
better song, but it gets tiring more quickly.
Nah, man, I face out, I hold out, I reach into the truth.
I
I'm not
think it's
sure
going down my
that every
favorite
time I
battle.
go
theme.
into a battle.
I think that it's like right next to like I think Jim mentioned I talked a little bit like we were hanging out where like if Jim said it's kind of like a Persona Q battle theme, but I think those are good, so I don't mind that at all.
Yeah, I didn't. I wanted to
think it's the
compare it, but
same
yeah, the
people.
Yeah,
Who made
because
it?
well, just like Light the Fire Up in the Night has like the people like two different singers and then they combine like
Yeah,
the
the
song.
three.
It's
it
a
has
banger.
the Persona 3 version has a very similar energy to the what's the new one called? It's Going Down.
Yeah.
I think that's what the new
That's my
song is
fa- it's
called.
my
Going
favorite.
down now.
Atsushi
I do enjoy it.
Hidacho, the new arrangements and compositions. A lot of them. They did a lot of Persona Q music. Like they're
Oh,
the
really? I
main
didn't know
composer
that.
of Persona Q. Like they've been.
I-
That's like
cool.
been their main contribution to the series up until.
Man, I wish I liked those Q games.
They did some tracks on like Persona 4, Persona 5. Anything
Yeah,
that was like
kinda like-
Atlas Kitajo remix and the dancing games, that was them.
Oh, okay.
Those are generally pretty good, I think.
Yeah.
Me and Jim always had
I
a
think
debate of which
they're-
of the opening OPs of the dancing games is better between 3 and 5.
I've actually never listened to those.
I think
Oh, the
the 3
one's
one is
really
Watch,
good.
good.
better.
watch the opening videos.
Have you did any of you? This is kind of off topic, sort of. Did any of you order the Persona 3 dancing vinyl from I
No.
Am 8-Bit?
No,
I
no.
haven't played those games.
Okay, well,
Not a vinyl player.
you're good because people are not very happy with them.
What do they do?
I guess they're just like not very good releases. Like they don't sound that great. I wouldn't know. I didn't buy them. Also, like if you know anything about I am 8-Bit, you will know that they take for fucking ever to,
Oh,
to
great.
get your records to you. So yeah, all right, that's all I want to say.
The new song definitely had to me it had like the Q battle theme vibe, which is good. The new intro
That was
probably
good. I liked that.
probably my favorite, honestly. I
Moment in
fucking
full
love
life.
the new animation for the intro. That song I think is wonderful. I legitimately like tear up watching it and listening to that song. I feel like it captures the spirit of the original game so well, especially like I love the sequence where all the characters are like together and it kind of pulls out.
I like the train sequence with the trio Ken, Shinji, and
Okay,
Mhm.
I really like the new opening, but I'm not as big of a fan of the section between like where Junpei waves up until like the end of the train part. Like everything else I adore, but like something about
I
like
like
the
the
3D in
wave.
those scenes doesn't really work for me.
I think
kinda like it.
I think the original honestly this should really go without fucking saying at this point, but like the original opening for Persona 3, the Burn My Dread one, is like full of a lot of really really cool symbolism that
Yeah.
I don't exactly
what if they
think
reloaded
is in Reloads. But I like the song, and I think the visuals are pretty cool. I like how she says, "Crazy how time flies."
Say Memento Mori a single time in Reload?
That's a good question. I don't know.
Koromaru says it every time you talk to him.
Oh, true.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah. Did you play with Aegis mode on?
Yeah,
No,
Jim,
no, I
It's
missed
only
that
unlocked in
setting.
New Game Plus.
you have to reverse
Oh,
Koromaru's
that
and you
makes
hear a guy
sense.
saying the line in perfect English.
Yeah, you if you do that, then you get to hear what Koromaru hears, where like all the shadows are like begging for their lives, and how they just want to be left alone, and how it's really sad.
Also, that vinyl, if you actually get the vinyl and spin it backwards on the vinyl player,
It's
you'll
just
hear
Right,
it too.
folks. I am 8-Bit pre-orders are open for the Persona 3 Reload vinyl. Get excited!
Oh hell yeah!
Play it backward to summon
Play
Lucifer.
it backwards.
Alright, this is barely related, but I cannot believe I guess like loses the ability to talk to Koromaru and the answer, like those cowards.
That's
I
like,
did- I
that's
have
like
no-
some fucking
I-
Kiki's livery service
I
shit.
com-
I never got
I
to
completely forgot about
play the answers, so I am going in like not
I never
knowing.
played
There's a
either,
lot
like-
they need to improve, but I think it gets.
That's what I hear. I hear it's
Well,
miserable.
Considering this game, I don't know if they will.
Well, they
I think they.
Well, we hear they're
I
adding the
think they know
compendium
the
and-
criticisms with the answer. Like, the story is not going to get altered all that much. There might be like a few new scenes, but the actual gameplay is going to be really overhauled.
Well, I mean, it already is.
Yeah.
Just
No, I mean like
think just
they're
from the
definitely
fact-
not going to like leave it so that you can't use the compendium and stuff like that.
Oh yeah, no way they don't let you use the compendium.
they already confirmed you can use compendium. I'm pretty
There
sure.
you
Did
go.
they? Yeah.
Yeah, they confirmed a couple things when they initially announced it. Like compendium's in there. Just a
But
couple
is
other-
the Danganron pendium in there?
Is that a black version
Honestly,
of
like
Aegis?
Reload is just so much more fun to play than FES that like I think that
It is.
benefits the answer on its own.
It does. It high tide raises all sails.
Yeah.
It's like the biggest complaint about the answer is that it's a fucking slog dungeon crawl, but but the mechanics of like exploring Tartarus and Reload are like genuinely really fun. Like they didn't like completely overhaul Tartarus like some people really wanted them to.
That's
which
no.
like
This
full
is the
zero.
best way they could have
Complete
gone
full
about
zero.
it.
Okay.
Honestly, I wanted
Okay,
more Tartarus.
Okay, so
People will kill me
I
for
got
saying that,
so
though.
I got so tired of seeing the Monad doors so many times, and I don't want to keep fighting these hard. I'm not going in there again.
I didn't know. I liked them just because, like, the way that I play the game, probably the way a lot of people play, it's like when I do a Tartarus session, it is a grind
Same.
session. Like,
Yeah.
I am going to clear out everything, and there's kind of a satisfying nature to clearing all the floors, even in the Monad doors.
That's the one thing I didn't enjoy with the Monad door because it kept showing. For me at least, they were showing up so frequently compared to everything else, compared to like the auto level catch up
But it's a free
mechanic they
boss
have in that
battle.
game, which was like weird because it's like RNG.
So no,
Well,
it's actually
yes.
tied to your spend of soul. What are they called? Oh my god, I
Twilight
just played the game.
Fragments.
Twilight fragments. Thank you. It's
Is
tied to
it?
your spend of Twilight fragments. Yeah.
Yeah,
So
if
you
spend,
need
like,
to be
7,
spending.
I think you get
I
like a
did not
guarantee.
know that.
Oh, the game
Yeah.
doesn't tell you that.
What, the clock
Yeah.
No,
doors
I had to look that
you
up,
can
yeah.
level up characters?
Yeah, like the clock where you get to. That was a nice change.
I
Although, like,
do
for the
think
most
that
part,
was good instead of like having something similar to like the Moon Confidant. I think it was in P5 where it just distributes experience all across your party because there's still
You
like
said the
some
moon. I got
jank.
really scared there for the moon in this game. Like we're
We'll get
There's
to 'em.
there's still some jank stuff that you can do with just like going alone with only your protagonist and like getting really
Yeah.
leveled up through that.
yeah. But then there was like the giant hand that you have to get lucky to track down.
That
Unless
one
you
is-
have, unless
That's so
Unless you
weird.
get,
That wasn't in the
okay.
PS at all,
Okay.
right? Like
No.
I swear to God that like, oh, it's the giant hand. We have to follow it through the floor. Like, I played along the first few times, but I swear to Christ, it does not matter which option you pick.
yeah,
You will find
it's
it.
random.
That
unless-
has to be true.
It has to.
Until
be
you
No.
random.
well,
Like, there's
until you get the
nothing
Fuka auto.
indicating-
Until you get the
Yeah.
Fuka auto find, then
Yeah.
it's like annoying as hell.
But you don't get that until way later.
I
Yeah,
know.
the first few times you encounter it, it 100% is literally just chance.
And you need like one of them
Really?
for like a,
It's such
Yes.
a
request
weird
never
thing.
fucked it up.
conclusion. Like, I
oh
don't
my god,
know-
you got lucky.
That's
the
crazy.
because I had
messed
the
up, like,
Sam mentioned. I
Really?
didn't get the one that was tied to the request, and I had to keep doing it. I did it like
Yeah.
3 times.
It's so
Holy
annoying.
shit. Dodge a bullet.
It's such a
You
weird
just got-
addition
you got the
to
lucky.
game. Like, I got really lucky with it, but I'm just like, why am I even doing this? Like, it's nice that it clears
there-
out a floor. I guess it adds a little bit of variety, but still.
I don't
It's
know,
kind of
there was
dumb.
There was some floor stuff like the fog barely came up in my game, like the fog floors. Like that was like the
Oh, I
rarest
really
thing
like
to
the
pop
dark
up.
floors. That was an
Dark
addition.
floors.
It was
Like,
a nice
that's what I meant.
variety. I think a lot of these little things they just wanted to spice up your Tartarus.
No,
like,
yeah, I
so
understand.
it's
that.
not because you don't want to enter like a fucking like glazed over state where you're just going
This-
through the same thing.
Okay. Also, this one had like thing like a P5 had where you have to like you smash the random like stands or vases up and it gives
Yeah.
you stuff. And there's just so many in P3 that like I'm tired of breaking these things. I'm getting a shit ton
Here's
of
what
light
bugs me.
stones,
I mean,
but I'm like
I never
there's
got
so
sick
many.
of that. I thought that was good all the way through. Like,
I grinded a
Here's what bugs me
lot.
about
So
those things is that to break them, you have to press the square button, right? Okay, we all know.
yes.
And like you'll swing your sword, but like it stops you from moving.
Right,
from,
you lose
like,
your
running,
momentum.
which is what I do. So if you want to get them all, you have to stop your momentum completely,
Yeah.
hit them, and then move on. And then
Yes.
when you get the upgraded uppercut slash, that like really fucks it up, and also makes your swing vertical instead of horizontal. So you have to be more precise with it.
And you gotta get the quick sprint from the computer program as well.
Yes.
it would have been a
Yes,
lot more
that.
fun if there was like one of those upgrades, except it maintained your momentum coming out of a slash, so you could just keep
Yes,
running.
yeah. It would,
Oh,
like I felt like I was playing like fucking Sonic Forces or Frontiers or whatever.
you're just constantly losing all.
Yeah, just constantly
all
losing
fucking
all my
momentum.
momentum. Just to do
True.
something.
Yeah.
They definitely wanted to
yeah.
bring up like momentum and like how you navigate through dungeons in the same way that like to a similar caliber as they had with Persona 5, but because you don't have the same aesthetic sensibilities of like being a thief and sneaking around. They had
Also,
to
5
figure out
is just a
different
button
way.
and you ambush, where this one you actually had to hit them in a certain
Yeah.
area of effect, and
So
Like it's a lot.
thankful
They wanted to
for-
be a lot more like you have to be the one to hit them instead of just going up and hitting the X button and you get the ambush in.
I'm so
felt like it was
thankful for
really
that one
inconsistent,
upgrade that lets
though.
you just hit them like even from in front.
Yeah.
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 Honestly, it's like do any of those dorm computer upgrades are like clutch in that game.
I didn't realize those
That was
were
a really
thing until
smart-
like November.
Yeah.
Oh,
I didn't
no.
realize people could also just use cheat the answers from just the community one. I didn't know that you could press the community button for the.
Oh yeah, you can cheat during tests.
I was just like, I just
Oh,
have,
wow.
I was have my phone opened up for like all the test answers. I
I
don't.
just remembered that.
I remember
from,
seeing a really funny article that was like, "Uh-oh, they changed them from Persona 3. Like, you can't skate by
no
with
more
your memory
mineral
this time."
water,
Also,
whatever it was.
it's good they add the computer stuff because man, once there's like nothing to do at night.
Late game, yeah.
Yes.
The
There's
the
more to do
prayer
at night, at
relationship
least, compared.
website is
Yeah,
amazing.
I think they added like the hanging out with certain members and doing certain things, and then you get broken ass passives for them. Like Yukari just becomes like the most almighty healer ever.
Yukari literally upgrades to spending 0 mana to heal. It's fucking hilarious.
it's
like,
great.
Her thing is so busted.
It's pretty crazy. What it made me realize though is that honestly, like healing in battle, I never really needed to do it. Now I was playing on like hard mode. I wasn't playing on merciless or whatever. And like not to say that Yukari's like characteristic. I forget what the fuck they call them. Like her little ability where she basically spends
her personality is what they call it.
yeah, her personality trait. Just like getting free healing is like pretty fucking busted, but
Yeah.
I surprisingly did not bring her to the end game.
Really?
Really?
Oh, yeah,
who's
that's-
your
that's a
main
good
party by
question.
the end of the game?
It was Persona 3 man, obviously. I don't know why I even said that.
Your name. Just put your name in there.
It was Matthew. It was Junpei, Aegis, and the dog.
Okay, I kind of had that's kind of like my Persona 5 playthrough where I had like 2 melee people for the most part.
Well, because Junpei has the fucking crit one, where he
Yeah.
is constantly critting. It is
'Cause
insane.
I should have used.
I
him.
had Yukari, Aegis, and Koromaru as like mine.
Yeah.
Yeah, I had Jim, Aegis, Koromaru, and Yukari.
Yeah,
They
I-
gave the dog debilitate. What the fuck is wrong with them?
It's so insane.
It
And
is
Aegis is so
broken.
strong with her physical attacks. I'm just like, why
Yeah.
wouldn't I just use
Dude,
Aegis? Aegis
Dude,
like
Orgia mode is so
yeah.
badass.
I
Orgia
love-
mode.
it's so
I was
cool.
worried about Orgia
Okay.
mode just being a theurgy this time around because I thought it might lose a lot of what made it interesting. But no, it's just it's
same
more
way,
interesting
yeah.
now.
Okay.
It's it's like it's a really cool compromise,
What-
or like kind of bringing back the sort like because you can't control her when she's in Orgia mode, and I really like that.
They
Yeah.
just brought
Yeah.
everyone
Yeah.
up to match her, basically.
Okay, so what do you think of the theurgy mechanic then?
Awesome,
Like,
I
It's
love it.
Really,
It was such a perfect addition,
It
I
is
think, to
awesome.
the game.
I love how many your character unlocked with certain Persona combos.
It's
Well,
I
they
love
were-
that
they were already in the
basically, like,
game.
made it so that fusion spells no longer require you have them in your party
Yes.
anymore because that was obnoxious.
Yeah.
That was
Yes.
so nice.
It's
So
not
nice,
all of them
'cause-
are in, but like
I think it's a good
like,
compromise.
Found myself actually, yeah, it's good. It's a good it's a good twist on it, and a way to bring something old that was like kind of cool but wasn't really that practical, back into the fold. In a
Yeah.
Although
way.
it's kind of
makes-
odd that for Scarlet Havoc they replaced Ares with Mithras. I get that they didn't want to make a new model for Ares, but like,
Cheap it out again.
why not?
they don't have enough money.
Like, you could have just used that in the
Well,
future. Then that, I don't see why you needed to replace them. But whatever.
It's
It's something with these Persona models. I don't know if you've noticed this, but like it kind of leads back into my cheap thing. Is that they look pretty blurry? At least they did on my screen when I played it on PS5. I don't know if any of you played it on PC.
I played on PC.
Played it
on
on
PC.
Steam Deck, baby.
There were some.
Yeah.
There were a PC issue, like a okay. There's in my initial playthrough, I had screen tearing, but apparently I
Oh,
found
yeah.
the fix that everybody also had, but it was an easy fix. I think I had to like turn like VSync
Yeah.
off, and then it was fine.
No, VSync
did you
on
notice?
it's so it syncs it vertically.
Yeah, that's what it was. It had to
for
sync with the
some reason,
VSync.
it felt weird when I first put it on, but I got used to it after a while. I'm not sure what exactly was happening with it, but otherwise, I think it's a really good PC port.
Yeah, Other than the screen tearing I had, it was fine
on
after
the Steam
that.
Deck, and this is like a common thing. It's funny, like whenever there's a problem with the game on the Steam Deck, all the Steam Deck heads like
It's
run.
like, actually, it's not a problem. You just need to do these 8,000 different things. It's actually not a problem. What's your configuration look like?
Go into your files.
There was a really funny thing in Fest where I think you had to turn off not Fest, Jesus Christ, in Reload where you needed to turn off like ray tracing or something. And like it's hilarious that like ray tracing was the thing that was causing an issue because the areas that would drop to like literally single digit frame rate had like no ray tracing, like visible ray tracing.
It's still
and
calculating
like, the
ray
mall
tracing like in those scenes. It just because the surfaces aren't as reflective, it doesn't show it as much. But
it was just a hilarious. Like the mall, I would get single digit frames in the mall, like, but just turning that off fixed everything.
But it looks
and
so
also
much better
Tartarus.
with ray tracing, Jim.
Oh, I'm sure.
The pixels
kind of like I think I didn't have ray tracing on for a majority of the game. I had it on for like an hour maybe, but when I did have it on, just like putting aside the fact that it was like 2 FPS because of my computer, I thought it looked pretty good.
I don't know if the PS5 version has. I think it just has the ray tracing on. I don't think there's not a way to fuck with it.
The game didn't chug it all though.
If
you
it has
guys,
ray
like,
tracing, then it probably has it on by default.
Yeah, it was rock solid. The
Yeah,
entire
because
experience.
I played like Persona 5 Royal on PC right before it, and it ran like great, like the 60 FPS and everything. It was just like so pretty in motion in that game. So the PC port for 3, I guess, was fine. This is one of those companies that actually can kind of do a decent PC port.
The thing
Nice
with
for a
that though
change.
was like Persona 5 is still like a PS3 game. Like
And
it
I know.
doesn't
Yeah.
feel like it, but it is.
It just when I played Royal though, like having like the FPS, the game being more smooth than it was when I played it on PS4, which is like so insane to me. I'm like, this is awesome looking.
like
Great.
they bumped it up from 30 lock to 60, I think. At least on
Yeah.
PS4. But
I was like, this is a great
it
way
was
to
more
replay
worrying for Reload, but I think it went pretty well, all things considered. Like,
Yeah, it could have been worse. There's many like worse franchises that have like terrible luck with PC ports.
honestly,
So,
the ray
okay, I'm
tracing
not a
looks
game designer.
incredible in the entrance to Tartarus. Like the way that.
All right, I need to look at that. So I'm looking at a comparison video right now, and like I'm not a game designer, so I'm not gonna pretend like I know shit. But I'm looking at like he's standing in front of like the wild duck doors, and like all ray tracing does is just add a reflection.
That's
And
ray tracing.
I'm also not
That's
a video game
ray
designer.
tracing has been the new
Could this not have
gaming,
just
like-
been like the old way they used to do reflections? Where
It
they
is.
just like
If
load
you
up
turn off
the
ray
model-
tracing,
like,
that's how they do it. It's screen space.
God.
The appeal of ray tracing to game developers
It's-
is that they don't have to bake in lighting. Is that the game, like the logic itself
Oh,
of
I
the game
see.
can do it on its own.
It's just a new gaming
okay.
hot thing to do to show up. Like, look at it, what we're
Yeah.
doing with the
It
ray
It does
tracing.
look glossy. I'm trying
There
to
are,
find it.
It can
ray
look
tracing
good,
is like
and-
this whole can of worms. Like it's definitely like the next step up, but I don't think most hardware is capable of running it well at this point because basically every time you
very
calculate
intense.
a pixel, you have to bounce it off the surface multiple times, and it's this whole headache. Yeah.
I need. Let's see.
But yeah,
Metaphor Retaliate is
Persona-
that coming to Steam?
Yeah.
As well? Yes, it is.
I
Cool.
don't.
I hope
I think
so.
it's coming to everything except Switch.
Yes.
Yeah, sounds about right. It's like the opposite of Vanillaware. But the opposite.
Opposite of SMT5.
I think like just to kind of like gloss over a lot of not gloss over, but to quickly go through a lot of the
Ray
other
trace
kind of
over.
change to ray trace over. They really went all out with trying to do the sort of like integrated menu system. You see that like Persona 5, that was kind of like the beautiful thing about that game was how like everything was like super in battle. Everything was super easily accessible. It was like just a button press away.
Yeah,
And-
it's really nice.
Yeah, and they definitely brought that into this, and I was one of those little bitch babies that was like, where's the revolver? Where's the revolver? But they did actually keep that, just in like a different way. But I mean, like that's another like I don't remember Persona 4 really having that. I think that was kind of more of a Persona 5 thing that it brought over, or
No, it
that
was
Persona
just
5 brought to the series.
Persona 4 was like the television screen, wasn't it? Or like something like that?
Yeah. Well, he's talking about like bespoke like buttons for different actions.
Oh, yeah, like that was
I'm
still a
also
menu
no.
to scroll
Well,
through.
I was talking about the menu. You're right, Aeon. I'm bouncing all around, but yeah, like it's the way that the menus kind of like flow in. It's very like it's so appealing. It's so stylish.
I love
It's so much better
really
to have
nice.
everything just on a
silhouettes
button. The silhouettes are
when
so
they're like
good.
summoning their personas, and like they have
Yes.
like their equipment.
Yeah, the
like,
fact
it
that
changes
it's just
depending on what they
yeah,
have
it's
on.
just
That's
a
really
shader.
cool.
That's crazy.
It's so
Yeah, but it's like amazing to me how good it looks.
yeah.
Yeah, all that was really good. Oh, good news! Arlo did a video. I need to watch
Oh
the Persona.
god!
the
Wait, is
Persona
it
3
regular
video
Arlo or
that
Red
did.
Arlo?
Okay.
Wait, did he recently, or was that just the first impressions thing he did?
I think he did it a while ago. unless
He
made
did it
another
2 months ago.
Yeah.
That,
Oh,
that's a
fucking
pretty
Atlas
funny
paid him to
skit,
do
yeah.
it. LOL.
How else, why else would he made it? It's not on a fucking.
I
It's
just
not a Nintendo game.
Jim, you gotta make a response thumbnail if Arlo is like Atlas made him do it.
But yeah, like a lot of those like little quality of life things. Like I even love the it's one of those things like when you notice, like at first you don't really notice that when you do like the pause menu, he's actually a 3D model like that's silhouetted. I didn't realize that until like probably like 6 hours into the game, and I was
It
like,
looks
I
like
really
it's
looked at it. I
2D.
was like, oh my god, it looks
Yeah,
amazing.
The cell
Yeah.
shading's really good.
I just said the stylish menu stuff has been so cool, and you're even doing that with like what Metaphor, like
Metaphor's menus
They
look
have
so
to now.
good. Like they're incredible.
Yeah, I just assume that they're cooking with that.
they have
been
they have like
avoiding
Very
stuff.
good.
like one
Same.
picture of it or like one thing of it from the initial trailer, I think the first trailer, and it looks very pretty.
They did like a 30-minute
Um,
showcase of stuff very recently,
Yeah.
and like everything in that game looks beautiful. They have like this transition when you go between areas, and it's like, I love it. I'm very excited for Metaphor.
I trust Hashino's vision, even if it's sometimes a little homophobic. I trust it.
A little.
I trust it.
Okay,
Okay.
that's actually a good because they did cut the Operation Pickup Girls like
They did.
like
They changed it.
Oh yeah, they
Nice.
did change that.
Thank
It's
God.
And
better now.
I so
It's
okay,
actually
I
funny.
literally.
I know.
I
Yeah, it
literally
is.
like was curious if it was a localization thing, and it was not. It was also
Yeah.
changed in the original, so it wasn't just a localization
And
thingy.
there's also
Good.
there's also a gay
That was
flag
funny.
pin on one of the characters' bags in the anime cutscene. Atlas has gone woke.
It's fucking woke.
Oh my god, they literally gone woke and they're going to go broke. No one's gonna buy this game.
No one's,
No one's
no
selling
one's gonna
Game
buy
27.
P3 Reload. It hasn't been the most sold in its launch.
No one-
I like. Thank you for bringing up the Operation Babe Hunt, Sam, because it kind of it leads me into yet another case of this game is kind of cheap, where where you're following Aegis into the woods. Did anyone think that was really stupid?
It was
What?
really
She-
funny.
she
Her little, like,
downloaded-
Naruto run.
I
She,
love
she
the
downloaded a
Naruto
bunch of
run.
Naruto episodes.
She,
She
well,
don't-
not even the Naruto run. It's just that like she runs away, you follow her into the woods, and then it's like this slow pan of like this basically straight line of the woods where you see her.
But it was
she
like that in
runs
the
away.
original too. Like they were just like you can't really fault them too much for being faithful to how the original was without adding too much. I get it's a remake, but like at the
it was-
same time, what else are you gonna add there? Are you gonna make it like a mission?
No, I'm just shocked that it was like several loading screens.
It
Why
was like-
couldn't it
it's
just
like-
been like one long path.
It reminded me of like Kingdom Hearts 1, where like there's an NPC you have to follow, but you see him go to the corner of like the next level, like the next part of the stage where they
I think that
go
also
into,
might
and you have to
be-
make your way over there.
I think that also might be a real life location, so I'm not sure if that was like a possibility in the first place. I'm not sure.
They had to recreate it, otherwise the natives of that beach would have been really mad.
It would have been really upset.
Okay, if you were a student at the school, do you think you could have found out that I guess it's obviously a robot? Like this looking at.
No, she just has a
this
really
feels like
weird
another-
turtleneck that goes up to her chin, and also weird finger.
Sam, that's just how
gloves.
girls are.
She had her earphones on the whole time.
There is like a plausible deniability to the whole like Aigis blending in thing, until the Yakushima trip where you just have to like not think about it. There's like a lot of things in Persona 3, and this is the case. Like this is just a story thing, where like the answer is really just don't think about it. Like with the whole, oh, we're gonna forget everything from the Dark Hour when Nyx is defeated, and then like they also seem to forget like their friendship outside of the Dark Hour. And when did they forget it? Did they forget it like immediately after they defeated Nyx? No, because they still recognize each other. Did they go to bed and wake up?
They do talk
weird,
about that though. Like they're like, we might not forget everything immediately. It might be a gradual time thing. We're not sure, so let's be sure of how we do this.
It just seems strange.
I don't know how they do it in the answer, but I actually really like how that's handled, just because it does kind of feel like it's slipping away from them, like as you said, like gradually. It does do a thing where it cuts ahead of in time too, so like we don't really have like a good clear answer for it.
It's a month
this isn't
later
a big
or something.
deal. I'm not like oh, this completely ruins the game or anything. It's like it's fine. I don't know.
Like the whole final sequence of the game, like I said multiple times, Persona 3 for the most part is completely carried by how excellent the ending is. Like it feels like the perfect culmination of everything that came before. It's the most interesting part of the game. It's the most emotionally heavy part of the game. Like everything about it.
That final month is just incredible. It's still good.
And they made it
Reload
better
too.
in Reload. I don't know how they made it better, but like it feels like they did. Like there's everything with
episodes help.
There's everything with January being all like dimmer and desaturated and stuff like that.
The music
All
change
the
as
trash
well.
everywhere.
Yeah, and then like even the stuff that I thought I didn't like at first, for example, in the original game in FES with Aigis, it's just like the whole thing is wordless, where the protagonist is appearing in front of Tartarus as it's collapsing, and it cuts to her, and it's like very close in shot, and like you just see a tear streaming down her face. But like Reload, it does the whole thing where like Reload is much more like much more insistent on explaining everything. So I guess just is like, oh no, the tears, they won't stop. But like the more time that goes on, the more I think, hey, that's not bad. Like I actually do like that. I don't know.
There are
like,
also people that
it's
they're like
there's
me.
so
They
many
played.
things that just
They only
improve
had to
the
play the
whole
portable
ending,
version.
which I didn't even think needed improvement. So
So there's a guy in like the nightclub that can just like fast forward to the end of the game. Is that right? Because like the guy like, oh, I can bring the end of the world now. Do you want me to end the world?
what?
And you can say yes or no.
Wait,
and I
what?
think it just auto skips you to just the final boss fight.
Talking about the
I didn't-
Takaya thing?
No, there's like a guy in the nightclub that could basically like skip to the end of the game so you don't
want
want
any
to.
of this.
I completely missed this.
Because
Somebody
like,
says like, be
I was
careful
afraid to hit
going
yes.
to the nightclub because
No, that's for
I got
for Takaya's scene.
Yeah. There's a Takaya scene if you follow through on that.
I didn't.
Oh, I
I
didn't
thought
do
I was gonna
that.
fast forward
No.
to the end. And they
Oh
skip
my
the
God.
boss.
No, it's just a scene with Takaya. I mean, it's not much of a scene, but it's still.
None of them are.
None of them
but,
are.
The
No, let's
So
go
I was
talk to this
worried-
one guy who killed your friend. No, that's fine.
I was worried that like, oh man, I really hope they don't make Takaya or like Jin end up like what Akechi and like Adachi became, of just people just like shipping them with the main character.
no, now we're shipping them with each other.
I
That
don't
was
know.
another
there's
element
some,
too
like,
that
there's some
nobody
scenes
cares
with
about Jin
Takaya where it's
still.
like, what's going on here? Why are you talking like
gay,
this?
real gay.
No one cares about Jin still.
I think
the most underloved Persona character. It's true.
I think that is correct.
I said like
think
in
the
our
Moon
group
has more
chat that it's
fans.
like there isn't. It didn't feel like Strega was better. It just felt like there was more of Strega, and it wasn't better
Yes.
or worse.
Yes.
I
There's
do
a really
take that
funny...
back slightly. I think they slightly improved Strega a bit. Like I feel like Jin is more of a character now. and Takaya gets so much cool shit, like, for no reason whatsoever. They get the shift scene during Hangman. They get, Takaya gets the theurgy.
Oh, yeah.
Like, that actually
The theurgy
goes
was
a
a
long
really
way.
that was
touch.
cool.
Yeah.
I like that he got that. But I do think for the most part it's just kind of like these are cool that they're here, but I don't really feel more.
It's
like,
still Takaya
strongly
and Jin.
either way. Yeah.
Yeah.
I do like that they seem way more gay now. That's pretty interesting.
It is. It certainly is something.
The
There's it
gay
certainly is more.
subtext is a lot stronger now.
Whenever they don't know what to add to a character, that's what they add.
Subtext.
They did the same thing with the
There's like a funny, like I think the strongest example of like why is this here with like the Takaya stuff is like the one before the hurricane where you're just like walking home from school and there's just this guy, he doesn't have a shirt on and he's carrying a revolver, open carrying in Japan. No one's outside now though, so it's fine I guess. No one noticed. It's very strange, but I don't
Dialogue
hate him or
option.
anything.
Why aren't you wearing a shirt?
It
Yeah.
would have been really funny if like just a cop saw him, like one singular cop saw him and ended his life forever.
I
Persona
think it's
3
like
has
when
always
Jim would
been,
just like his like.
an odd duck in terms of Persona games as far as they go, because like so often in Persona is it like the human characters, the human antagonist forces tend to be the most interesting thing about the game, and then the like godly deific antagonist forces tend to more often than not be really lame in comparison.
Yes.
Absolute opposite case in Persona 3. Like, Nyx is one of the coolest parts of the game, and Strega kind of
Well,
sucks.
Nyx gets to kind of be both, but yeah, the human like Jin and Takaya, like yeah, they're fine. They're fine.
They serve their
villains. Yeah, and it help, and like they're introduced fairly early too, so that's good at least. Ikutsuki, like
Ikutsuki's worse in
Man.
this game.
Yeah,
And he
Still
wasn't
exactly
great
as I remember
in the original either.
it's pretty
Yeah.
crazy that like he is that like I kind of get it in like a big picture sense that like him as a twist villain kind of works when you think about it, like because at the beginning of October Shinji's dead. Holy shit, this is like the first like real big loss that the team has experienced right when things started to seem like they were kind of going well, and then like, oh, you've defeated the Dark Hour. Oh, just kidding. It was actually a lie. Your mentor was fooling you the whole time because he's a fucking like insane man. And also Mitsuru's dad is dead. Now it's even worse, and it just continues to like spiral. And I sort of like that Akutsuki is sort of like a stepping stone
right.
in that grand scheme, but I would have also liked it if he was interesting too.
I think Ikutsuki...
but he made
Yeah.
jokes.
Yeah, my favorite. Like, oh, he makes puns. That's a character personality, right?
I think
Man,
the
what
main
are-
problem with
the-
Ikutsuki is like, he's really good like from a conceptual level, because with his falling to darkness essentially and the death of Mitsuru's father, you basically have your characters lose their entire like support system for the most
Yeah,
part.
they're on their own now, which
yeah.
is really scary.
That would have been more significant if it ever felt like Akutsuki was actually doing anything significant and not just Mitsuru doing everything.
Yeah, he comes across as like the teacher chaperone that has to be in the room
Yeah.
when the club is happening.
Yeah.
I'm always so shocked at like he just shows up all the time. Like, what is this guy fucking doing
It doesn't
here?
feel like his
it's-
like role that he has at the beginning of the game where he's monitoring everyone. It doesn't feel like that carries through the rest of the game. Like, he's just absent for too much.
And
Yeah.
he's not a teacher, but he
He should
works
be.
with Kurijo group.
Yeah.
Never mind. That's fine.
He's also like lab
Uh,
stuff with Igus, which is why, that whole scene.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
gotta be
and
there
like
to
that whole like I guess reprogrammed scene is another like case of like I know it was like this in the original game, but come on, guys, we're like, it's like Aegis has been reprogrammed, and now she's going to take care of you. And
Again,
then it's like,
another
it's all of you against Aegis, fade to black. Oh, I guess we all lost and got crucified, and also Koromar is gone.
Yeah. Again, another thing that
It was
like,
just-
benefited a lot from
God,
the
that's so
2D
sudden.
animation rather than the 3D animation. Like especially
Mhm.
the part of it where Akutsuki
Well, that
falls
was
off.
that was an anime cutscene too.
Yeah.
Wasn't it?
No, that was
Yeah, it was
3D animation, right? I remember it being in an
in the
engine.
original.
Oh, well, I was talking about when they're hung up on the cross.
Right, in the original it's
the
2D
anime.
animation. In Reload it's in engine.
Even still, like it's like the fade to black is really funny.
No, yeah, like it's weird that like apparently everyone lost to Aegis. That doesn't really make a lot of sense. But like the whole
physical
way where
damage
it just
is so
like
fucking
suddenly
good.
cuts and it's just like this weird esoteric thing with like everyone on crosses and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And then like the end of the scene where Akutsuki falls off Tartarus and just like kind of gets enveloped by darkness. That looks so much better in 2D animation than it does in engine. But yeah.
Mhm.
I think just to play D for the 3D cutscenes, I think the Shinji death scene is a lot better.
I do think,
It's
yeah,
reloads.
that's one place where I think, for the most part, the 3D does a lot better.
Yeah, I just looked at that one. It's funny. It's funny because I was looking at a bunch of discourse about like the Persona 3 cutscenes, and so many people were like, "These look off model." And that one, unironically, does have some really janky character design and like a really serious moment. But I found that scene to be
Shinji
pretty
one,
good.
or
The Shinji
okay,
one, yeah. But I found that, yeah, I agree.
Like,
with you,
there's
Zach. I
some
like
weird
that
stuff with,
ending,
like, the facial animations, but, like, I think it was stronger used there than it was used pretty much anywhere else except the very end of the game. Which the very end of the game, like, it is where I, like, a lot of my criticisms with the in-engine cutscenes kind of, like, fall away. I think doing that whole entire thing in engine, incredible decision. The only
you're
thing I
talking
don't
about
like
the
about
rooftop.
it is like the slow running with like the Baywatch shit. Like that's my only
I-
criticism with it, and something else that was
I
also
got
done in
thoughts
the
on it.
original.
Yeah, me too. Like for me, the final Persona 3 cutscene and like the moment when all the characters like regain their memories and they remember the thing they promised, and like there's something so visceral about the scene, and like the way that the thing, this was not in the new one and it made me very sad. The way that what's his name, Akihiko, grabs Junpei's shoulder and he's kind of like clenching it, like it's almost like these memories are like being physically forced back into them, and like a very visceral way, and that really like that stood out to me so much, and to this day like I still think about that. And then like I thought the scene where Mitsuru jumped off the podium looked a little sillier in the new one. I don't know.
On
To
the
me,
other hand,
it's kind
I
of
think the
impossible
delivery
to
of Mitsuru's
fix it.
lines in the new one way better. I think them. Am I getting mixed up with the movie? I might be. I think the delivery is just way better for Mitsuru in the new version, and
Well,
yeah.
but the movie we were never dubbed. So
I'm saying like the two separate thoughts that I'm mixing together. Mitsuru's
Oh,
delivery
sorry.
was better in the new one, like something about the old one where she's just like, yes, I think this or that or something like that. It always felt off to me. And for the movie thought that I was thinking, there's like a thing where like they notice the cherry blossoms outside, and like cherry blossoms mean I will remember you or something like that, and like that's what causes their memories to surge back. But that might just be the
Oh,
movie, and I'm mixing it up with my thoughts on Reload.
yeah, I think that is the movie.
So I love the end of Persona 3. It's so good.
So good.
It's really,
It's
really
amazing.
great. And I did cry when I beat this game, the remake. I played it all the way past my bedtime, and I was crying on the credits, and it was good. If I can be a snobby asshole for a moment, I think
No, you can't. Sorry.
they were a little precious with the ending cutscene in Reload because they know how important it is to people, and that is fine, and it is still good. And I thank Christ that they kept in the choice at the end. Like, you have to, the game doesn't end until you pick an option. I've talked about this in videos before. I think that is fucking incredible. It's something you can only do in a video game, like the way that works. And they kept it. And like, even them, like, it has like a new menu for it. That's fine. I just I think there's a sort of beauty to the ending cutscene in 3 in FES, where it's just it's very understated, where like it doesn't really seem like anything is all that wrong per se until it's over, and then you like kind of think about it for a bit, and that's not exactly here in the original or in Reload. Just like the way it's like fully in like a pre-rendered cutscene, like what Aeon was saying, and it is good. It looks great, and I guess her voice actress did a great job with the lines. The new Memories of You I thought was actually great. Thought it was a good version.
I really like that.
Everyone did their job good.
Yeah.
It just feels a little like more reverent to itself, I guess. And again, this is like a really snobby complaint.
Okay. All right. This is
like,
interesting.
I got one more thing,
continue.
and this is like an actual complaint that I have. Why do they have a montage? I hate the montage in that. In when Aegis is talking about like her like past or whatever.
Oh yeah.
It cuts back to like her fight with Ryoji and stuff, and I really didn't like that. I disliked that a lot. I thought that like really it just didn't really feel right to have like that sort of like montage flashback, and that really bugged me. Okay. So that's it. That's all I wanted to say. Again, they did a good job. I just think this just comes back to I prefer FES.
All right.
It's very funny. I went back to the video and looked at, okay, what did I see when this scene happened? And I'm like, oh no, it's just the JPEG of the rooftop with Aegis'
it's portable. It's portable.
I know, but like, man, it didn't hit nearly as hard for me initially.
You still get
I know,
memories of the school,
and then you have like it kind of gets ruined on female protags thing. Like, you need to have Aegis for that scene. Like, it doesn't make sense with any other character.
I just see
says Aeon Star.
There's one with like Shinji in the thumbnail. I'm like, oh man.
Of course it's Shinji.
But yes.
No, right. I agree. I think it's important that it's Aegis.
All right. So, I felt very similar to you with like not being entirely sure how I felt about like the whole edition with like the kind of montage of the past events. How reverent it was. I liked the simplicity of the original in FES, where it's just like, it's Aegis sitting there and the protagonist is laying down on her lap, and it's just like, it's all about Aegis's speech, you know? Like, it's about her dialogue.
By her.
Right?
Yeah.
And I was just like, alright, I'm not entirely sure I prefer how this is done here. It's way more obvious that, like, the protagonist is dying rather than just, like, blissfully falling asleep in this, like, calm atmosphere, content with their knowledge that their friends are coming. So, like, I was like, alright, I don't think they nailed it quite as much as the original, but I understand why they did it this way. And then I started watching actual, like, first-time players reacting to that scene who had never played FES. And I think seeing the beat-to-beat moment of their reactions, how they were taking in the scene as it comes along, and the moment that they are on, like, you feel your eyes get heavy, ... close your eyes, where they just like, that's when it hits them, like definitively what's going on.
Shit.
That is a way more like significant and impactful rendition of it. I think it's the best like rendition of the final scene in any version of Persona 3. I think it's like, we're coming at this from a perspective of people who have already played the game and are now playing a remake of the game that we already experienced. I think if this is your first time experiencing Persona 3, that scene hits you like a truck even more than it did in the original game. And yeah.
No,
it's interesting.
I agree with you. This comes back to like, I think this is a good like starting, or just like a good point for like people. I could recommend this.
Right.
To
This is
people,
why, this is why people don't shut up about this game.
Yeah. Case in point, hour 30.
This is like why. Like, when I think about, like, oh, who's my favorite cast in a Persona game? I think of this one, because in this one, you see them hanging out with each other away from you. You are not the focal point to them hanging out.
What I really like
honestly,
is that
I was...
Go on.
Thank you. So I was, like, thinking about this while I was playing the game, and, like, honestly, like, the Persona 3 cast might be, like, one of my favorite casts in any JRPG.
Yeah,
like,
they're
legit.
up there.
Definitely.
Like they seem like friends. Like even without you, I think okay, I can see like how they be hanging out together, like away from you.
The ways they pair off is really good. Like even like Yukari and Junpei are like a classic, like sort of like comedic duo. Having like Yukari and Mitsuru having like
an arc,
like this relatable, like this really relatable connection, and like having like a friendship grow out of that, I think is so insane. Like that, not in like that is that crazy to believe, but for a game like this to see that kind of like, I can't think of this really happening in like another Persona game. I mean, they talk about like Chie and Yukiko being friends, but like they don't like don't trauma dump.
It's like I can't imagine anybody in the Persona 4 cast hanging out with each other when you're not there, other than Chie.
I could see it with like some characters. Like I could see Kanji potentially hanging out with Yosuke
like,
sometimes, but they probably shouldn't.
Well, Teddy and Yosuke,
that's another
Teddy
one.
lives at his fucking house.
The thing is, like,
I see the 5 casts hanging out away from you and like being cool. Everybody like everybody's super cool with each other.
I was worried that they were gonna make the group too friendly and Reload with all the like nighttime scenes, but they managed to make them feel like still kind of like a group that is brought together by circumstance, but also like dorm mates. Like they really do feel like they're just spending a lot of time together because they live in the same place, and I think that's good.
All the tensions they have are addressed throughout the game, and it's like they take time to break those tensions and they see them become friends. Like it's great.
I really hope that this remake pushes or just like makes them want to do Awakenings story based again, because it is just so much better that way.
Has that.
Yeah, Jim, I don't think you got this because I don't think you didn't do all the guys length, but you get the hang out with the boys, smashing a watermelon.
That's a
great scene.
That shit was like a fucking like sitcom episode. It was so funny.
I love this, you and the boys just hanging out doing stupid shit on the roof. And they, oh man,
the new
they do it right in front of the fucking Wild Duck Burger.
No, they do it on the roof with the dog watching.
Okay.
Yeah, and like it's like, oh, we need a bat, and Akiko's like, I'll punch it. It's like, let's not do that, Akiko.
Junpei, I gotta use my lucky bat, my trauma bat.
But
it's
Junpei...
like, fine. We don't have to use the bat. And then Junpei's like, my dad wanted me to use the bat.
I'm like, don't you guys have weapons probably as well? You probably have a sword or Ken has a spear.
Can't use that on the roof.
It'd be like Deadliest Warrior. I would love to cut a watermelon with a big katana.
Edge. Junpei's bat.
That hit way too hard.
They're also like such great scenes, though.
Even all the social links. Koromaru has a social link, like the Ken social link. I enjoy like all those mini social links.
It's just like it's more of a social link with like the town. which I think is really
I
good.
like that too.
Love that.
Well, he's a dog.
Well, yes, but
His other
There should have been a
potential
lady
owners.
dog that he had a crush
they
on.
managed-
He's a dog that is completely self-actualized and gotten his ultimate persona way
that's
before
such a
anyone else
cool.
did.
I know
Which is
that
so
like
awesome.
It's great.
and apparently Persona Q kind of like shit on that and said like, oh, he just doesn't want to evolve it, and it's not that it's evolved
I
already.
realize that.
I've
Persona
always
Q can
preferred
suck
it
an egg.
being just evolved already.
I don't like acknowledge the story of characters of Persona Q because I just think of like Chie and Akihiko just being the most
Yeah.
like flanderized.
I mean, they're quote unquote canon.
Steak, protein.
They do kind of lay it on
steak,
thick with the
steak.
protein stuff in this.
Oh,
think-
yeah.
All right, I
Yeah, I
think
thought that too.
with
But after
the
playing
amount
Q in
that
Arena,
they
it's like
do it-
nothing compared to those.
with the amount that they do it in the spin-off games, I think they had
Yeah.
It's fine.
some
It's
restraint
nothing.
in this.
here.
It's nothing compared to like Arena and Q.
Yeah.
It's
I-
very clearly stuff that's like they've made the sort of tie into like Arena and like the other spin-off
Yeah.
games. It's fine. It doesn't ruin his character or anything.
Yeah, I think like
It does make me really questionable when he's trying to give me like his special protein blend. Like, dude, what the fuck did you put in here?
Trend.
But I also like love the hanging out with Shinji beforehand and everything. Like
Oh, that shit's all that shit's good.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
it's a waste of time, but it's good.
Yeah, that's why he didn't do
you
it.
can get Shinji's really broken for the one dungeon.
but you
you
get
leave him in.
Hellbiker
Aw,
with Bloody
man.
Charge, and Bloody Charge is
Shinji
broken.
is so fucking badass in this game. Like
So good.
I made a whole video on this, but like the whole like his whole gameplay strategy of just like spending as much of your health as you can to just do so much damage is so it's fucking great. It feels really good. And
Everybody has
also,
a play
his
style.
voice actor is awesome. He killed it.
He's great.
There were certain
Um,
like lines
also,
where
what
I
do
was
you-
just like, that's not quite as good as the original, but like generally, yeah, like voice actor was really good.
What do you guys think of the battle outfits? though? Like the
Oh,
new
I love
what?
them.
the new battle outfits.
Oh,
They're-
the
the
Seas ones,
Seas
yeah.
like special infiltration.
Oh,
I think
those-
they'll make
I
them
like
pretty
them
good.
all.
Yeah, I was
Yeah,
kind of surprised they
I
did
thought
that.
they did a really good job with the silhouettes overall, because like just having like a really like identifiable like slightly like you could still tell who each character was, but like the little accoutrement I thought were really
It
good.
The
fits
design
every
is
single
still there,
character,
they
and
just
it
have some
feels
cool-
like it feels like that level above. They're just like regular outfits that they needed for being more recognizable in that sort of way. The only one that I have issue with is Aegis. I think she should have gotten something more elaborate.
Yeah.
Well, you're gonna get an
I
elaborate
think-
one in the answer.
And
true.
that barely counts.
You like 90s comic books with like bullets and pouch.
The battle outfits are all pretty tasteful, which
Yeah.
which I appreciated. I like.
Unlike the sexy panty outfit.
Oh my
no,
god,
that's cool.
I cannot believe those stayed in.
That's so weird.
I never unlocked those in the original game, so or I guess I think you had to buy them. I actually don't know how you unlock
No, if
them.
you got them in the
they're-
game.
They were. The Haika armor was in the original game, but it was like actual armor, so you could only you could only wear it for a certain amount of time before it became worthless.
It feels like such a weird
Oh,
relic of the
that's-
time.
okay.
Like I don't feel alone in that, right?
Oh,
Yeah, I
no,
mean
it's so
very
creepy.
of the time.
It's
the style of the time.
it's almost admirable that they kept it, but I found it very
wore
creepy.
it for a bit for the culture, but I wasn't.
Yeah, me
I wasn't
too.
jonesing for it. or
I honestly
anything.
just
I'm
like
kinda
never
mad.
swapped out of the Seas outfits. They're so good.
I only swapped outfits in Persona game with Persona 5 Royal because it would change the battle music, and I like changing the battle
I
music
did that.
up.
They also Royal, just like they give you so many fucking
Yeah.
costumes.
To play the remix Persona 1 battle music is like a banger. Like I think it's a lone prayer is like such a banger
Yeah.
battle track.
What I didn't like was that Aegis's dress, her blue dress. You cannot wear her You cannot have her wear her Yakushima blue dress in the battles. They just
Really?
They gave her like a new outfit for like casual wear, which is it's sort of like a more regal like
Yeah, that one.
Yeah.
dress outfit, but you can wear that one and it's fine. But I like the Yakushima one.
I
and it's
feel
I
like
like
that
that-
probably might have been.
I like that a lot because it feels like she just threw it on. Like it feels like she didn't care.
It feels
She just,
like
put it-
Well,
put
well,
the
what I
focus
liked, what I like about it is that it sort of feels like it's very clearly a dress in the original one, but it sort of feels like something you would sort of like throw over like a car when you're like,
on.
not
It looks like a
repairing
big
it.
T-shirt almost. Like
Yeah,
she's wearing
I
like a
like it a
quadruple
lot.
XL.
I just would have
It's
like
very
a hospital
iconic. It
gown
legitimately
almost.
is like very iconic.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
It's not like a
Yeah.
hospital gown. I like that. And
Where she
you can't
belongs,
wear
the
it.
psych ward.
I wish they had like some like collab costumes instead of just like here's a 3 or 4 outfit or a 4 or 5 outfit.
yeah.
Just like I'm pretty sure for the 5 cast had like a Yakuza crossover outfits and they were like hilarious.
Was that? I don't think that was in the actual
the
game. I
outfit
think that
game
was
is
in
lacking.
dancing.
Oh, it wasn't dancing. They still had a bunch of those like those costumes in that game more than like.
I know that in Sonic Forces they had.
Oh my god, they did!
Yeah, Joker.
They had a Persona 5. If only only Joker had a Sonic costume.
I think Super
that
Monkey
you
Ball
could
had Morgana in it too.
It's so weird.
we don't talk about
like
Morgana.
with Atlas being part of Sega, that stuff happens.
Give
It
me
feels like
more
it shouldn't
weird
for some
Yakuza
reason.
costumes. Give me like Junpei as Majima or something. I don't know.
I think it was like on as Majima.
Yeah, on. Yeah, it was on. I remember.
It was a weird
Futaba was
selection.
the florist. Yeah, Futaba was like the florist. It should make sense, but it's still weird. It's like it was like character only appears like 2
I think
games.
Haru was
Okay,
Haru
so-
Haruka. Actually, that kind of does make sense. All right, never mind.
That's very funny. That's so
All right. We've been chatting for a lot. I kind of want to do a little bit of a lightning round. Through all of the social links. I want to go through every single social
alright.
link
I said earlier,
as
that-
quick as possible.
them being fully voiced is so good,
It's
so
such
much
a
better.
godsend. I like
makes them so
expecting
much more
P6
enjoyable.
to now have it fully voiced, and I'm gonna be disappointed if it doesn't, because like you.
They
They,
have
yeah,
to
they
go
have
back
to at
on
this
that.
point because like, yeah,
Yeah,
once you fully
it's
voice
gonna
the
be
social
really
link, you can
hard.
never go back.
It was really jarring when you get the like holiday events with a character, and I guess there just supposed to be so many that they didn't bother doing because those are like some
Yeah,
of
they're
the
so
few
the romance of
scenes
it.
that don't have like voice acting, and it's jarring. I'm like,
see-
oh my god, the
I
game
didn't
broke.
see any holiday event because I was just waiting for Aegis.
Me neither, brother.
I had like I have to do Yukari, but I have to like grind up my stats before I can really start that. But it's, God.
Thumbnail, easy thumbnail. No, I'm kidding. All right, okay. We're gonna fucking lightning round through, and this is not even just like how the game was improved. I want you to give everyone. We're just gonna go a good or a bad for each one based on how you
Oh,
feel about each
God.
social link. All right, the Fool.
Oh my god.
Jim-
The Caesar. No,
I'm gonna
we're not
give
doing
you
this.
say
No,
about
we're doing the characters. All right, Kenji. How do we feel about the magician? Good, no good.
Good.
Better, but still not
He's
the
the
greatest.
he's the goat. I bow.
I
bow to my
did
king.
like his.
I still don't like Kenji.
I like him more.
I
with
I
the
have
new
to
stuff
admit,
they
I
gave
felt
him.
like he was lying because I never finished this in the original game. I felt like he was lying the whole time, and to have the end, the teacher he was actually like, fucking.
I
This
don't
teacher.
think he was.
was
I think
not.
he was just misunderstanding.
I know he's not. I
everything.
know. I'm exaggerating, but the fact that this teacher was like leading him on, like, actually punched me in the fucking
I don't
face.
think she was.
one
I
social
think
link I didn't get to
Kenji's just an
finish.
idiot.
It's like intentionally kind of vague, but like she was like giving him lessons at her house.
A lot.
Yeah, I mean like whether she knew she was doing it, I don't know, but she eventually
She should have known
realizes it,
better.
and she's like, "Oh shit."
I'm convinced Kenji is just
And he's
an
like,
idiot
"Alright,
and
I'm
just
gay
like
now."
ruined that teacher's life for no reason.
Oh, he's an idiot.
Ruins her. All right. Okay.
my
Next up, Fuka Yamagishi.
Didn't finish.
Didn't finish.
I finished it. It certainly is Fuka.
My brother is a huge Fuka fan. So
Fuka head. I'm a huge Fuka head.
He
too,
celebrates
but I
Fuka
didn't do it
Fridays?
this time.
he does every day.
Alright, I'm gonna be real.
I'll have him comment. Or
I
something.
got a new appreciation for Fuka in Reload, but like, I've never liked any of these. Like, whenever they come up in any like JRPG or anime, where it's just
Woman
oh,
bad at
I'm a
cooking.
bad cook. That's my arc.
Okay, in her
It's
social link,
awful.
in her social link,
Awful every
she actually
time.
is she's actually becomes a competent cook by the end of her social link.
And there is like
But that's the
sort
whole
of
part,
a,
that's-
there is sort of like a character reason for why she's bad at cooking,
Right.
besides how women are supposed to be cooking.
It's not like Persona 4 where they like never get better and it's like haha they'll never
Like,
get better. They'll
it's
kill
better
you.
than Yukiko's dumb stuff, but
Yeah.
As a sufferer of anxiety, I think that I relate to Fuka in that way, and like part of it too is that she feels like she's not contributing enough, and that's why she's like, I need to get better at the cooking so I can feed
Fuka,
people.
you
like
have
the-
the best
And I kinda
I
therapy
like
like the
ever
conclusion
by the end.
that she eventually comes to with like the what's it called, the tech club. Like that's a good conclusion to her whole thing.
Yeah.
But
I didn't finish, so I don't know.
yeah, I think it's the same in FES where.
Also didn't finish on that one.
Oh, and just
one day I will
like
watch
since
all the
we're at this
cutscenes.
point already, the platonic, social links now, such a good addition.
Yes, those are good.
God,
Okay, first
They
off,
are, but they're also evil in,
Yeah,
in a
I
the
like
special
that.
breakups,
way.
the thing, the
sadistic.
thing I'm not interested in you are painful in this game. They are so Persona 5 did them good where like you don't you know it comes up naturally you say it for the most part, but this one's like you're like really crushing their soul like every single one of them.
I still like
Not
that.
to jump ahead to
I really
Chihiro
do.
Justice, but I literally thought that Chihiro was going to be on suicide watch when I turned her down. I legitimately thought that she would not recover from me letting her down. I almost said like I love you just so that she wouldn't do something
I
horrible.
didn't
Oh
get
my
that far in
God.
hers.
Well, Jim, if you didn't lead her on, she wouldn't have even asked.
And then Jin goes to me and says, "She's so pathetic."
She is awful, and my headcanon is that she actually did steal the money.
That's
I
funny.
think she literally did steal the money, and the teacher was so forgetful that he thought that he didn't pay it. But I think she did steal the money for
It's
that
even
art book.
funnier
Alright.
Took
this
it.
time
So-
around with
so
like
Chihiro-
how easy grinding is that like you can't just pay it.
I know.
all right,
Like, just give her like 3,000 yen or whatever.
Just take it.
lightning round for her then. I get thumbs up, thumbs down.
I didn't finish
I've
hers.
never been.
I didn't like her.
finished it.
I like her, but I didn't.
There's
like
only
her.
one I didn't finish in this game, so
I like that she's like a criminal.
I did
All
her
right.
fast, so I made a consent.
Oh,
I
you
mean,
did
I
it.
made a huge mistake.
Well, I mean, I had to. If I finished the social, like you have to do her. In the,
I know,
in
just
the
just
original
very
game, but
funny.
Yes,
I was
yes,
surprised
I-
actually that like I assumed that the social links were gonna be way easier to get them all. I was still like down by like 5 or 6 ranks total by the end of.
Well, they added so much extra stuff with the Link episodes, and
Yeah,
I thought I
That's
did-
what I think fucked me over.
I thought I did really really well with it, but I still didn't like, start Scott the Waz at all. So like I have no idea. I got like level
He
1.
must
that
be-
was it.
He must be the most neglected persona.
I think I
social
actually
link of all
finished
time,
I did
'cause,
him
like,
in Fess.
oh really?
You're the
I've,
one
I've
person-
never done him. I feel like he always gets like he's kind of sequestered in a weird part of the school too. It is really cool that his story is connected to Fuka. I really like the way that the social links kind of like
The
unlock
story's kind of dumb
new
though.
social links.
Ev-
His story is
It's not.
literally like it's
Yeah.
literally High School Musical. He's like, I'm
It
extremely
is High
talented at
School
2 different
Musical.
things, but I can't. But I have to pick one. It's like fuck you.
High School Musical and the excitement from High School Musical.
Also, yeah, I hate that guy. So, all right, next up, Mitsuru Kiroji.
What?
She never had a
what the fuck?
hamburger. She wants to know what burger is.
Mitsuru Kirojo. Yeah, how do you say
They say her name like
Kirijo?
Oh,
Didn't
500
finish.
times.
Didn't finish.
Yeah,
I finished it.
She beat-
I've never liked the beginning of that one. I like the end where, especially in the platonic version, where like she, you just like, hey, we're gonna have a trip some point along the way where you're going to learn how to ride a motorcycle, and we're just gonna go somewhere, and no one can stop us.
Wink.
And do anal.
but before I teach you, I
Yes,
gotta go
only
fight
the
somebody on
platonic
Death
version.
Battle.
Oh man.
And she tells you about the time she
the
fought a
streets are
Ruby
crazy.
character in Death Battle, Jim.
All right, next up, my boy Hidetoshi Odagiri, the student
I didn't
council
finish
emperor
him.
social link. I love this one.
Undeserved hate. He is
he's
Yeah.
I
he's
think
fine.
he
He's
becomes-
awesome.
He's fine. I like him but he's really obsessed with a cigarette. A single cigarette butt would just trigger him.
I think
But
that's
that's the
just
whole
like,
thing. Also, okay, one thing I want to say, this game has some amazing like naturalistic voice acting.
Oh yeah.
His voice actor sounds like a real ass dude,
good.
and it did
Yeah.
so much for that character. Same with I'm gonna skip ahead briefly. What's her name? The track team
Yuko?
lady.
Yuko's-
Yuko.
Standout.
Yeah.
Everyone loves her.
Her voice actress.
I love
killed
her.
it so hard.
I get a new appreciation for Yuko from just like her voice
Same.
actor and hearing it all.
incredible.
I've never
absolutely
been
incredible.
a big fan of Yuko, but like I really liked her this time around.
Her social links.
I love her little story too. I also finished her story. I love her
Yeah.
story about
It's
being
just
kind of
kidding,
like
it's really
directionless.
I like her story because it's not like a life or death like.
It's just
like her like
helping
figuring out what she
a
wants to
bunch
do in
of,
life.
kids, and I think that's
Yeah.
fun. And it makes sense.
It's not
for
like
her
my
to
And
do
life
it.
it's
is
about
in
finding what you care about in life in like a very like natural way. It's something I got really fucking into when I was playing the game, and I think it's because there's one lesson where the stupid nurse tells you literally like what every card of the tarot means, and after I saw that, and
Mr.
I was
Edogawa, please.
Thank
Put
you.
some fucking
I hate
respect
him
on his
so much.
name.
I would skip I would
you,
skip
Jim.
most of his fucking lessons. I
Fuck
hated
you.
him, but that was when
He's the
I
best
listened.
teacher in the game.
This is a crazy lightning round.
I loved this is terrible lightning round. But I loved the whole like I really loved looking at this whole game as like a meditation on death and loss, and like every single social link having like a different aspect of loss or relating to a tarot in
least
some way.
change.
Like her story is really
because death
Yeah,
is also
You
change.
listen
Death
to
doesn't
Mr.
change,
Edogawa's
yeah.
lessons, Jim, you would know that death Arcana doesn't exactly mean death. It means change, okay?
I know.
And
That's the one I listened to. I was getting courage points for sleeping through the other ones.
Oh, actually, just like interject
but-
here because I'm gonna forget about it later. It was only like I've played Persona 3, seen the end scene like so many damn times over the course of my life. It was only recently that I realized like every single time you do stay awake or close your eyes during the like while you're in classes and then at the very end you have the option between ... and close your eyes. I never realized that the reason it's ... is because you no longer have the option to stay awake.
Oh,
that's fucking
I've
genius.
for some reason that never processed in my head.
that's some Undertale shit right there. All right, okay. Old Couple. I absolutely love this. I think the voice acting elevates this so high, so endearing. I love the conclusion of this story, even though all of these social link stories in Persona games are always like, oh no, this thing is happening to me, and then at the end it's, you know what, maybe this thing happening to me is good. I will let this thing happen to me. That's every single social link.
Yeah.
And this one is one that I really like. I really love the whole idea of like, you know what? It's okay to knock that little tree down. Like our son, he lives in our hearts. Like we don't need the tree to remember him. Like it's more important to honor him with like a new building at the school.
He would've
where
wanted that.
children will
And then
learn.
like
helped
I
Yeah,
like
he
the
would've wanted
conclusion
that.
of like, hey, there was so much interest that we're just going to move it so that the tree can watch over the students.
Yeah, beautiful.
That's a nice. The epilogues in this game are really
Yeah.
That's a good little have your cake and eat it too that I'm not mad at.
good.
all right,
Yukari Takeba, the Lover's Arcana, did
I
not
on- I-
finish.
I like her.
She has one of the
I think
better
it's good.
social links of the main party. Like, I think she actually has something going on here with like her mother that carries through from
Yeah.
her arc in the actual game, which is nice.
Yeah, I agree. It's kind of weird
Best
because I
girl.
don't think there's a lot of deadbeat moms in
Yeah.
Persona games. So,
That's JoJo
so,
shit.
So that's kind of
They're all just
interesting.
they're,
You don't
they're
see
all
that a
just
lot.
dead
Yeah, they're usually just dead
or traveling.
non-existent. Yeah.
Did I
So,
guess
I liked hers. It was
Protag's
interesting.
parents?
Don't worry about that. That's not part of a social
By
link.
accident.
Who cares?
Did she pull a
That's why she's
Shinjiro?
so obsessed with him.
I'm pretty sure, but it could have all just as well have been a shadow
Yeah.
attack.
You guys didn't kill your wife's parents?
She didn't
That's what I
have
did.
she didn't have any revival beads.
Yeah.
Oh,
Shame.
if only she did. Am I the only one that imagines like somebody trying to feed a revival bead to like an unconscious
I mean,
character?
people try to
Like, is
talk
that-
about Aerith in Final Fantasy VII, where like just shoving Phoenix Downs down her throat.
down her throat.
I've always kind of thought it was a missed
Um,
opportunity to not have the Dark Hour end with when Shinjiro died, and to them not be able to use their personas anymore, and that's why they can't heal him. But that would
It's a
have
secret
ruined
hour
other
that
stuff.
lasts way more than an hour.
Oh. That's interesting, but can't they just use their personas like during the day?
They can.
Well, personas
but,
can like
yeah, like
exist
that would
during the
require
day.
something different. But
No, they can't.
they can
If they
Fuka
go into a
definitely
TV in
uses it during
Inaba,
the
yeah.
day.
Because the times when what's her face Chihiro or Chiaki, whatever her name is, from Danganronpa gets strangled by
Chidori.
Medea. Chidori, thank
But that's
you.
also a different
I
case
played this,
where
beat
like
this game
it's
like a
against
month
her
ago.
will.
Yeah,
That's
that
true,
seems,
but
that
it
seems
still
a little
can, like,
different. Who did you
manifest.
say, Aeon? Polydeuces?
What? No.
Who uses their persona?
Like Fuka uses her persona to scan things during the day.
True. Yes, she does.
Yeah, she,
Ah.
wait,
Scenes
does she?
where-
she also like
Wait,
yeah,
does she?
Like that's required.
Oh,
She's
yeah,
vaguely
'cause
psychic.
she's like...
she had like psychic powers during the day. It feels
But
like.
wait a minute, no, when? Because I'm trying to remember
doesn't-
because there's one like right before the bridge scene with Takaya, but that's during the dark hour.
Like
She
there
has,
are
like, a
there's
psych- like a
definitely
psychic
at least
feeling a
one.
lot
I
of
remember
times.
like going through reload and like passing through that and being like, yeah, that's weird that she can use it during the day, but I guess that's part of the ability. It's just the evoker, not the actual dark hour.
I'll take your word for it.
All right, Jim.
Yeah,
lightning
why
round.
doesn't he just kill all his bullies? Why doesn't Persona 3 guy just kill all his bullies
Is he
with
stupid?
Thanatos? Is he stupid? All right, going down the list. Track team Miyamoto,
I've never been a
Kaz.
fan of
Somebody
Uh,
stop him! He's going to like. Someone needs to stop this man from killing his.
This is one that kind of doesn't. I like the idea of it, but the game wants you to do it like quickly, because if you wait until the end of the game, it's like this motherfucker was literally running on a broken,
Yeah.
like
Also-
not broken,
also-
but a heavily damaged leg for months
To get
and
the
months. Like,
best-
that is not going to heal.
To get the best results for your social link, you have to encourage him to run on his
alright.
leg.
No,
on this
I-
shit.
Yeah, that is hilarious.
I
Yeah, I love that.
don't like the social link specifically because like it's very dumb with that stuff, but I do like it as like its existence because it kind of embodies the idea of persona. Like the social links in Persona 3 are more about you like matching up to what you think people want to hear from you than what they
Look,
actually
need to come to the conclusion themselves. I'll just enable them.
Yeah, it literally is very much like you are putting on a persona to appease them. Like it is like very, very literally like you are just it's kind of the whole thing, like you have a different, like you behave differently with like different groups of people. Like I make a lot less cum jokes with like some like my work like merc friends than I do with like with a
What?
group like you. But
Yeah, that's something that kind of gets lost
like-
as the series goes along into like 4 and 5, where it's just like you kind of just like say the things that both they need to hear and they want to hear from you later on. But this, like, you just go against what any reasonable person would say to get points.
it sometimes is so fucking hilarious that he's like, don't listen to your parents, keep running on that bad
Okay.
leg. Like
A lady
really
round
that
that's
bad.
kind of related to this, Jim. The little girl, where you can just keep telling her that the divorce is her
run away
fault.
from your home.
It's
Run away
your
from your
fault.
parents. It is your fault, actually. I fucking loved her story. I loved her voice
Oh, it's so
actor.
good.
The epilogue is very
I love
funny
the
'cause you just talk
conclusion,
to her
too.
dad.
Michael was
It's very
definitely
I
one
love
that
the-
was like elevated by the voice acting a lot. Like,
I love the conclusion being like her being very responsible and like, yeah, my mom was kind of like fucking ruin her life if I wasn't around to keep her together.
It's
My dad can fend for himself.
It's
though.
the epilogue at the end of the game. It's like you just talk to her dad for a bit. It's just very funny because like
so
It's like,
weird.
oh,
She's-
so you're her
she's in
little
a
friend,
postcard or
huh?
yeah,
You've ruined my marriage.
It's like, yep.
you made her pick her mom
yeah.
and not me, you asshole.
Wow, you look like shit. Yeah.
Since we're talking about her, let's talk about one of the best social links, my boy, the son.
The dying man.
absolutely love.
That's
What's his
good.
name?
Akanari Kimiki.
He's great.
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't unlock him when I first played the game, so I got to play through his. I really love his story, his whole story like thing where he's trying to write a story. I don't know, I really like that one. I love that one's like the most literal death character.
I think it's the most.
But I didn't like the conclusion where he literally like
That's
Fades
always
away.
so
Yes.
goofy.
Yes. No, it looked better in Fess because he fades away.
Yeah.
It's abstract. In this one, he fucking poofs.
He should have faded.
It's
He should
really
have like
embarrassing.
faded away, but like a pink alligator just
I thought it was
materializes where he
goofy
was
in
standing.
FPS, and it just gets goofier in Reload.
It's strange.
A
It's
UFO
odd.
should have flew over and just like beamed him back up, and then never to be seen again. It's still one of the most probably most famous Persona 3 social links for like a good
Yeah,
reason, not
it's
great.
infamous.
It's like for as goofy as Reload made the final rank up, the epilogue thing with the mother, the voice acting makes that like
Yeah,
I
that's
actually
great.
almost started
I
crying.
love that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's good.
it's so. But for every sun, you have a moon.
We are so out of order.
We are.
We'll get back to them.
I love.
I'm looking at a list
I
and
love
he's
how
just staring me in
fucking
the face.
stupid the moon was. The little like jokey thing where they like flip his
So dumb.
they do the reverse tarot thing at the end was really funny and stupid.
It's the only instance of it in this game because I think they took out reversing.
Yeah,
social
I'm pretty
links.
sure.
Yeah, 100%. They removed it.
But I like that they kept it. in
Wait,
for
did
this
they?
one.
I think they kept in reversing, but they got rid of like breaking or something.
I never had a
Yeah.
social link reverse. I haven't heard of anyone else.
Me neither.
Besides the moon, which is a
I
story.
may
thing.
be wrong.
So I think they got rid of it.
Kind of just like a reference to that from the old
Yeah.
studio game.
It is fun. I have all the same problems with the moon as I did in the original game. The voice acting is good because it adds like a more comedic sting to
Yeah.
it. But it
The
is very
moonwalk
much-
animation's very
It's
funny.
funny.
Oh, they do have reverse in this. You can actually reverse some. I didn't know that. Wow, you have to really be
Try for
fucking-
it.
Yeah.
I stand corrected then.
I think they
Alright,
had to make the animation. They were gonna use it.
Yeah, they might as well.
Oh, but that's friction with the
Oh,
player.
there's that
the people
friction.
will get mad that that anything is impeding them in the game.
Yeah.
The moon still has all the same problems where like there is a good social link in there. It's just buried by 8 ranks of him shitting his pants and scamming.
Yeah. Please get this angry guy away from me.
The only thing I
I
like,
paid off a thug to
I
beat you.
still really dislike about the Moon Social Link is like how much like unreasonable like sucking up you do to him for the first like
I hate
how
it.
many ranks,
It's
and
very
then
funny.
suddenly
king.
you change on
He's
a
a king.
dime when the story demands it. Like
Yeah.
it
Yeah.
feels like if it was consistent the whole way through and it felt like manipulative borderline, like that would have been different. But I don't know. It feels weird, just like the story, the social link doing whatever the plot demands, essentially.
Yeah.
I will say, if you're playing this game again, try doing the moon social link to coincide with January because it like the whole cult angle actually kind of takes on like a new.
Isn't it a different
knew,
cult
yeah.
though?
It is a different like they never specify it, but like it.
Why are there two cults?
Like
It's
you
too
won't
many
think it's the
cults.
same.
Well,
it's two. There's a lot of
thing
cults,
is-
but it's interesting. It's interesting.
Think
That's all I'm
about January. It's like such a press for time, and he's one of the only like 2 social links that you could do during test weeks or before test
Yep.
weeks. So he's like required for that
No,
time
I'm
frame.
gonna
Yeah,
put
they
off
basically-
spending time with Aegis in order to spend time with Moon.
Yeah.
Kid that sharts
Hey, you
himself
can't
every
do
5
Aegis
minutes.
some
Ridiculous.
days.
No, I'm pretty
Yeah,
sure
they
you can
do,
do Aegis like
thankfully.
pretty much every day except for like the day that she has to do the counseling thing.
Not the
Yeah,
She
she had to
can't-
gain her
not the
humanity.
weekends,
Saturday.
is it?
Oh,
Yeah, only
Or,
on
sorry.
only like the week,
Yeah.
the school days.
Yeah,
Alright.
there are certain
is
days. I
Suimitsu available on Sunday? I don't remember.
I
The
think
only-
it's
I don't
available every
fucking
day.
know.
He's available on days off too.
Yeah.
That fucker has no other friends.
Yeah.
He's so
Nothing
He's
else.
literally
so
like,
lonely.
if you have nothing else or no one else available, he is always there for you to do a social link.
I swear
Everybody's
they
studying
did
for
it on
exams,
purpose.
not
They knew
him.
He sucked.
Yeah. For some reason during exam, Mitsuru was available as well, so I just knocked her out during the study
Mitsuru?
time.
Alright, I have a
Dude, what
You
the
knocked
fuck?
Mitsuru
I
out?
have some a pet to peeve, a gear to grind with Mitsuru's thing. I completely forgot that she's only like in December, so I like raised my knowledge up
She's
by
depressed
like
for a long time.
October. Or, no, like by the time, when was it? Like September or something. I had my knowledge rank completely maxed, and I just ended up wasting things that I didn't need.
God, I hate having to have certain traits to a certain level just to unlock social links like that.
I mean, I don't hate it, but like, I wish I remembered that because I wasted so much time.
The thing that makes me upset, not upset,
Life's
but
all
it,
about
like
wasting time.
it's annoying where you hit the max level and then it's like immediately you never want to ever do one of those activities ever again.
Yeah.
There needs to be some kind of like, I don't know, like consolation effect to continuing, because like, oh shit, I have all these like study event or not study events. Yeah, the study events are good examples. Like, I don't need the knowledge, but I want to see the study event. Like,
Yeah.
I guess that's kind of a reward in itself, but you're still wasting. I just sit through the fucking little cutscene where my brain gets
You
a
see,
little
what
bigger.
you do in that case is you go, you do the study event, and then you rewind to the previous day and use your time on something
I
else.
should have.
It's rewind time.
I forgot the rewind button.
should've.
I
never
used it constantly.
Oh my god, I
Such
used
a
it
good
all the
addition.
time. It was so fucking based.
There's a case to be made about how it delegitimizes.
Screw
the
that,
game,
no.
but also it's very helpful.
Yeah,
I was just gonna
mean,
reset anyway.
Yeah, like, you
Yeah,
can
it
make the
literally just
argument
saves you
that,
time.
oh, it's ludonarrative dissonance. Come on, like,
Hey, you said it, not me.
like, just, it's the same thing as if
Gesundheit.
you saved it in a different slot. Like, I'm limited to 16 save slots. Just give me the rewind.
yeah,
Rewind
I
time.
ran out at the end. I kept saving a new one every day, every fucking day in December. I was like, oh god, I'm not gonna get Aegis. I'm not gonna get Aegis. All right, speaking of Aegis, let's keep going through these social links. We only have a few more. Maya, the Hermit. I fucking love this
It's
one.
great.
It's so
I love
fucking
it.
good.
And the epilogue at the last day is so amazingly voice acted.
It's like,
Like,
And it's also evil. It's also evil. She wants to have sex with this 9-year-old. How old's the main character?
She wants to go to dinner. It's dinner, and she takes it back. It's funny,
But-
all right? It's funny, guys.
every
She
teacher
wants
is
to date a dying 16-year-old. Pretty fucked up.
that has gotta mess
I love
her
her.
up. Like, learning he died.
Oh my god, could you imagine?
immediately after.
Literally, like, your dream man appears, is a minor, and then dies.
I love this one. I always loved Maya. And I liked that she had a
Uh,
sprite in this one.
The lead
Maya,
speak,
Maya's
It-
incredible.
yes.
Maya's
Incredible.
existence is ruined a bit by the fact that Kawakami exists in Persona 5, and you realize that Atlas is just doing this because they like that, and not just because it's
Yeah.
funny.
No,
I
they're
think you
doing
mean
it
Becky.
because I.
Alright.
that.
But like,
Like,
her breakdown in the epilogue, that's like, that whole scene, like, oh, it works
It's
so
great.
good with
The voice acting is so good. Like, I clap after I heard her vocal performance of that one. It was just so
Especially
good.
since, like, Maya was the only one that doesn't have voice acting in the actual social link, but that makes up for the whole thing. at the
yeah,
end.
that's right.
Amazing performance.
I'm kind of surprised they didn't do like a digitized voice, but I kind of like.
yeah,
that they did.
I
It's
prefer
It's
it
great
this
because
way.
you wanna. It makes you read all the lead speak.
Yeah,
and
exactly.
it engages you. It draws you into the narrative even further.
Her texts are great too.
Oh yeah,
Katsu.
I
The
love her
texts
so
are
much. She's
so
cute.
great. I
Um,
still have
Also, I like her little story with like the other teacher that she hates. I
Hirochi.
think that's like very relatable to me as an adult.
There's also the one teacher in the treasurer social link that he is the one that forgot the money. When you confront him, like, oh yeah, I kind of just forgot.
Akoda, I think.
No, he's covering up. He's covering up for
It's
the.
so
for
That
funny.
The justice
Akoda
He's like, oh, yeah.
sucks. Like,
He's like, my bad, and she's like,
How did he not get fired? I don't
like
know.
I don't
because
know.
none of the teachers had portraits in FES. I think they did in Portable, right?
Uh,
Like,
Sorry.
I think so. They had a
Soriyumi
portrait.
and Edogawa have
Yeah, I just never internalized any of the teachers, but now realizing like them as consistent characters, Akoda sucks.
Okay.
Oh, he's the
There's
worst.
also a teacher
Yeah.
that like he just doesn't want to talk about any other history other than samurai
funny. I like
history.
him.
Like he'll just throw
Yeah.
Ba-
he'll
Based.
throw away anything on the program just to
None
talk
of those
about.
students are learning shit.
That
He comes in with the helmet every day and like
did you do his little the Elizabeth request?
yeah,
for
you
him?
talked to him like
Yeah.
20,000 times before he
You
gives
literally
up.
have to go to the faculty room like 10 times. And he's like, oh, he's not here today. I can't get my thing. And then like another teacher.
Oh, I have a
harasses
bone
him.
to
Like,
pick
here's
with
some
the
knowledge.
Elizabeth
Teacher.
request. I complained about it in the group chat. Like,
Oh,
I was so
Some of
close
them
to
are-
getting them all done.
works on my machine.
I was so close to getting them all done,
But,
and
I-
then the stupid mission where you have to get like soda from the trip.
So, oh yeah,
Where do
we had
they
to, we had
go?
to talk to somebody every before.
You have to
Kyoto?
get them from the Yakushima
Yeah,
trip.
there's nothing
Oh, the,
indicating it.
no, is it Yakushima? I thought it was the Kyoto trip. The school trip.
Sorry, I meant Kyoto. My bad.
There's like nothing indicate
But-
that it's time
Yeah.
sensitive. If you miss it, you can't go back.
No, yeah, you're right.
You're just ruined. I don't know if it was the same in FES.
You
but that
ruined.
He
sucked.
blew it. You can't
I
rewind this
didn't-
far.
The problem with FES was you could only have 3 requests at a time, so I immediately
Oh,
like,
really?
dropped that. Yeah, you could only have three active requests at a time, which is really weird.
Damn.
This one was nice. I did all of them except the beat Elizabeth because that's
Yeah.
Oh, yeah,
fucking
fuck that.
I hear
impossible.
they
Didn't
made
even-
that
didn't
fight
even bother.
worse, it was already awful.
I tried it. I was like, you know what? I'm gonna fucking try it. I'm gonna go for it, and then like immediately get like megalovaniad, and I was like, okay, I'm gonna fucking.
What's funny that
Never
Persona
did
5
this.
Royal has like, oh yeah, you can fight Persona 3 and 4 main characters if you want to, along with the attendants. I'm like, I don't think I want to do that.
Yeah.
I don't have the patience for a long ass Persona battle that you need specific builds with
I
specific
don't think it was
personas.
as
It's just not
bad for
fun, like-
P4 and P5, but Elizabeth is Jesus.
I liked her in Persona 4 Arena, but like I'm not gonna try to fight her in this.
It's just
Like,
annoying.
why isn't
that you
she
have to
climbing
fight her on your
Tartarus?
own. It just doesn't really feel like a very.
There's no
Not
room
fun.
for like fun. It negates a lot of like the actual mechanics of the game. You can't use any of them.
Yeah.
This
It's
game's
like
not-
a-
Mhm.
it's
the
not
game's
like a
not
super
designed
boss,
for
it's
that.
like an exhibition
fact that,
match or
like,
something.
Yeah.
It's strange.
The
I
fact
don't know.
that like if you repel anything, it just insta kills you. Like that's so dumb.
Yeah.
really dumb.
It's very funny how like Persona 5 like the one game where you really have your party members actually go to the like see the Velvet Room.
Persona 3, I mean,
Like-
technically the answer.
Oh
but-
yeah.
But
Yeah,
like
well, I
5 you
haven't
actually
played that,
go
so
they
yeah,
actually
yeah.
go into there and like talk to like
Yeah, I forgot about that.
yeah.
Don't you have to you have to free them from the jail?
I'm sure
Yeah, you
there's
have to like
some
pep talk them
spin-off,
out of there by not
like, that they do that. Well, Q.
Q does not count.
Q2.
I
I think in Arena they might. No, probably not. Actually, I don't
You-
know.
well, Elizabeth is playable in Arena, and I think one of the other ones may be in Ultimac or
Margaret is
Q has the
playable.
lavender.
Margaret
room.
might be playable now.
I
I think
don't
she
know.
is. in the
Nothing
second
is canon outside of the original games.
Yeah, I don't care if the game ends in something that isn't a number, then I'll give a shit.
one. But
Strikers isn't
alright.
real.
Persona Q2 I
Q
care
isn't
about.
real. Dancing is not real.
So all right, we're almost done. Pharos. These are lame. I hate Pharos. The voice is still creepy and stupid.
It's
I don't
fine,
care about
I
it.
whatever.
like
It's just-
Pharaoh.
oh yeah, I forgot.
What? Heroes is cool.
No, he's a
He's
weirdo.
just a little cringe baby.
I don't want a child watching me when I sleep. I'm
Hi,
sorry.
How are you doing?
I just think
It's
think of
almost
the
time.
I think of the
Time
creepy
for
Yukiko
what?
stalker from 4. We're like, okay.
It's
Like,
almost your time of the
Oh my
month.
God.
What?
all right.
That's basically.
We
it.
get
Out of my
okay,
room.
next.
Yeah, it's like 1 a.m., dude. Let me fucking sleep. All right. Transfer student Bebe.
Bebe,
Temperance.
base.
Yes,
I
love Bebe.
love
Everyone loves
Bebe.
Bebe.
Bay.
It's base baby.
Absolutely incredibly, like the greatest boy ever. I love him so
Can't
much.
believe.
I love when he speaks Japanese, and it just makes me think if he's speaking Japanese in like one sentence bursts, Is he just speaking French to the main character all the time, and we're just understanding it?
I think the idea is that like his Japanese is just really rough.
Yeah,
I'm gonna
It's hard to
it's good for an
localize something
American
like
viewer,
that.
but
But
I can't imagine what they. It's probably just reverse. He probably speaks like
he
French
speaks Japanese, but
occasionally.
slips a French word every
Yeah.
once.
Yeah,
Every once or two.
like
once in it.
Mitsuru. He pulls a Mitsuru.
Yeah.
Mitsuru is like
so here's-
appropriating.
You know, Hashino
This is
was
something
taking
I
his
really
Duolingo
like.
lessons when he was.
I
making
wish
that game.
Bebe would just like I'm very annoyed that Mitsuru keeps trying to speak French to me, even though I just love Japan. I don't want to speak French.
Funnily enough, I'm pretty sure that is a localization thing.
What?
Yeah, makes sense.
The
Oh,
Mitsuru
really?
with the little French. Thing.
Is
Really?
Now I'm like unsure. I think it was a
Because
localization.
it's barely
thing.
in Reload.
interesting
Like
if
it
it
feels like
is.
they removed a lot of that.
The script seems mostly like the same from, or like they use the original translation as a base or something. It seems pretty one to one. Obviously, there's some
From
differences. but-
FES to Reload, there was definitely like a lot of minute differences that I noticed, like going back to the original game. Like Aegis' speech is definitely different in certain ways, but that could have just been like, I don't know if that would be retranslation
Okay,
or if it was just
They
took
changed
out-
different
They took out
translations
Yukari-
of the same story, as
So
they say.
I just looked it up, and apparently in the Japanese version, I think that she speaks
Oh.
English.
That makes
Ah,
sense.
so
Really
there you
okay,
fucking
yeah.
funny.
That's a
That makes
People
a lot
also
more
ask,
sense.
why does
than-
Mitsuru know French?
But all right, here's what I want to say about Bebe's, because like first of all, the voice acting like really elevates it, and also I just really like his social link. I think it's good.
Yes.
It's very charming. I relate to him incredibly because I
His-
too
I like his
love
epilogue,
Japan.
too.
His
Yeah.
epilogue is beautiful. Is
Yes.
really
Yeah.
really sweet, and it makes me feel so bad.
it's
But yeah.
he's a good one.
I love Bebe. I'm glad I got to do the
When I-
social link this time.
I think when I
Me
first
too.
played the game and saw his sprite, I'm like, it's a character that I'm gonna hate this
No,
character in
he's
Social
great.
Link.
Nope.
I know, but like when I first saw his big portrait, I'm
Yeah,
like,
he looks.
I don't
like
want
he's
to
gonna
He
be
should join the
I don't
hateable.
wanna
party.
talk to
He
this
should get a
guy.
persona.
He loves Japan almost as much as I do.
I look. He's like the Sakura Khan commercial as a person.
Why doesn't he have a persona? That's my only question. Why
Rugamesh
doesn't he
is his persona.
There is a Gilgamesh persona, isn't there? All right, moving on. Tanaka. I never did this one in the original. I like
That's
this
such
one.
a weird one.
It's good.
It's very funny. I love how evil he is.
It
He's
feels-
just pure evil.
I don't know if
Until
it bothered
he's
you guys, but like
incomplete.
the fact that his line when you buy anything from him on the TV is "Thanks, kid," like he's speaking directly to you,
Thanks,
but he
kid.
never says
Yeah.
that line when you actually talk to him. It's so odd.
I
The
know
one line that he says during like the Tanaka deal thing that I laughed at every time is he says, "I'm going to do it." And I'm just like, what are you gonna do, Tanaka?
He's gonna
I'm
say
going
it.
to do it. It's just like
He's gonna say it, Jim.
He's literally gonna
on
say the
air
gamer
on
word.
Sunday on the Lord's Day.
Though I really liked his link though. I thought it was cool. I like that he hangs out around the mall at night. He just feels like a shitty shitter.
All the
slummy slummer. I
adults.
like him.
Social links are at night.
Speaking of at night, Mutatsu, totally missed him in the first game. I love the social
The
link.
monk?
Good.
The voice acting, incredible. Absolutely
I,
incredible.
Yeah.
I don't think
I
I've
like-
ever done
great.
his in FES either, but yeah, like just
Could-
generally
I
good.
wonder
Okay.
how. Like, 'cause
So-
I didn't do it either.
So this is a thing also early in the game between like him and Tanaka where you have to get other social links to like 4 and then hear a
Yes.
conversation
Right.
point, and then you they can unlock them. It's kind of annoying if you don't know it because then you look up
Is he
what did
like
everybody do?
Yoko's
They hung out
level
with this
4?
guy.
Yuko, I mean,
Yuko. For
Yuko,
some reason.
Yeah,
Yuko's one of
yeah,
them,
Yuko level
and
4.
I think Kenji's the other one to unlock another one.
There's a crazy monk that hangs out around
and then
the bar. That's
Yuko
what
is
they
already
Yuko-
unlocked
I'm
by
guessing.
Chariot at a certain point, so that's like really far in
Yeah.
there. But like, yeah, like I feel like I'm missing something, not knowing much about Buddhism from his social links. So, but
Yeah.
like, it's mostly fine.
It's very interesting that he drinks and smokes.
What,
That doesn't seem
something
anti-Buddhist
about
as
his
far as I
social
know.
link that's
It seems quite.
It's
like
just like
that. What
weird
were you
that
saying,
he has
Tuck?
like all these vices and is also a priest. I think that's like the main thing, but it's not technically against
And
it.
divorced.
He's disillusioned.
Yeah,
And divorced.
and he's divorced.
Yeah, he's divorced.
Most
Boom.
divorced priest of all time.
He's the only he's the only social link I think in the game where you actually have to sort of, if you want like the best results, you sort of have to stand up to
Yeah.
him and kind of
Yeah, he likes that.
But only sometimes.
Mhm.
He's like,
Not all the time.
he's like, you got
Yeah,
balls,
well.
kid. You got big old balls. I like
There's
that.
one that like really upset me where he's like, "Do you have any friends?" And the options are no, or the other one is like, "I live alone." It was something really weird. Like neither answer I felt genuine or real. It was like, I have friends. Like I talk to them every day when I fight
Those
the
are your
shadows.
colleagues.
It's you know those options always remind me of the comic where like how do you, the dojima like how you like your coffee where you get insulted on every single
yeah.
option.
Don't try
Yeah.
to
I
want my
talk
black
to you,
gun.
sissy.
Oh my god.
Don't act tough.
Wow, that's the best video ever. All right.
That it? That's the last
I
one?
think there's like one or two more. The most forgettable one, the rival athlete. I kind of hate this one,
I think
unironically.
his epilogue
Alright,
is
here's-
pretty interesting, but like most of it's just kind of whatever.
It's depressing though.
It's so fucking sad.
I like his because his is capital R real.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Sometimes
that's
you
why I
just
hate
can't
it.
do it.
Hey, but as long as you can set up a factory-wide track team, just to
His epilogue is also really good,
Yeah.
I think, because
Yeah, I
it
liked his
feels
epilogue.
very real. Like it's sad that like he has to sort of like give it
Yeah,
up.
it's like
to take
I
care
But he's
of
kind of
feel like
happy he can still
his
kind of
could
do
have
it.
so much more going on, but you have to do this. But like, it's cool that you're still finding it in your own way, and like with people who also
Yeah.
kind of care about it.
Life gets in the way
Yeah.
sometimes.
Yeah, damn. And then I think the last one really is well, there's like the Nyx Annihilation team, but that's like a free
I-
one.
What do you?
Judgment.
Okay, what
That one's
about?
funny.
It's not officially a social link, but the Elizabeth hangouts you can
Oh,
do.
Oh, okay, yeah. Did you do Alan with the Elizabeth?
I did all hers. I still love her wacky silly stuff.
Because
And
you get to have sex with her at the end.
yeah,
It's
you
awesome.
can. Oh, face the black. You just hold hands. That's what it is.
No,
Here's
they
what's
have
fucked
anal.
up. She doesn't pomp on the bed anymore. And
Is
Does
that
she-
what it says in the
Did she
original?
pomp? Oh my god.
yeah,
Oh.
she pomps on the bed.
Oh my god, I didn't know
Uh-huh.
that.
Yep, they took it out. Soulless,
So,
soulless cheap
Oh.
cash grab remake.
I think she's the only one whose original voice actor really like returns for the same role, right?
yeah.
Yeah,
And I think it was the same as
what-
Mitsuru in the original, right?
yeah, Tara
Yeah.
Platt.
Because Yukari's comes back as like the antique shop owner,
Yeah.
and the cop is Akihiko's old voice
And I think-
actor.
Every single voice actor comes back except for
Yeah.
Vic. Comes back.
Well,
for
thankfully.
Something Agas's,
Thankfully.
comes back as like additional voices.
Yeah, in Agus's social link, the old lady with the cat is Karen Strassman.
Oh, that's cool. I didn't realize that.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah, I actually really like. I thought it was like when I first heard Kurosawa, I was like, "Oh, that's nice."
I love like all the good voice actors came back for their little cameo role.
I love that so much. I really it felt like such a cute little like respect nod
Also
to like
because
the
the
OG game.
Yeah,
voice acting for
I
the
liked it.
antique shop owner, is so good. It's like such a good
is.
performance.
I love
It
it.
is.
She's awesome.
I never
Sure
really
off,
cared
still
about
got
that
it.
character,
Also-
but like she's great.
It's
She
also
honestly-
interesting that like they know more and like they probably
You
have
know
a
about
person-
personas.
or like an old
Yeah,
part.
she has like she knows more than.
There's probably a
She's
game
let
where
it
she
on.
has
I think she
history
wrote the
also
notes.
with like she has like history with like Mitsuru's
Yeah.
dad and everything.
Like something to do with the
like-
research team.
Yeah,
You could, you know more, don't you?
It's very cool.
it's good
Prequel
stuff.
game, baby. But
is
I
that
like
all
that.
the social links?
I guess that was the last
yeah,
one. That
I
we
mean,
didn't
there's
talk
like the
about.
hangouts with the guy party members. You can include
Those are all
kind
good.
of.
Like,
but
there's not really much more to say about
I don't know
them,
what you
though.
want me to say about Agus. I think I've
Yeah.
spoken enough.
I guess is the best one by
so-
far. like-
Yeah, I love
Am-
hers. It's just really
so
really good.
am I the only one that didn't romance? I guess I'm guessing.
Probably. I did romance Agis. I wanted to touch her magical neck.
That scene with the voice acting.
I feel like they
Yeah.
made it like more
I-
like explicit this time around. Something
I was
about
like,
it.
damn, that's crazy. Oh, and the new voice actress for Aigis, she did a good job. I think,
Yeah.
Yeah,
with the game.
I'd
Like,
say they all did a great
I was
job.
expecting like it to take a while for me to get adjusted to Aegis's new voice because I really love the performance in FES, but like it took 2 seconds. Like I
Me too.
immediately fell in.
I think overall, I still prefer Karen Strassman's.
I think I prefer this
performance,
one.
just because like it's weird to me because and maybe this was just like a thing in the original English version. They never did it in the Japanese version, but I like how she starts off as like pretty robotic and then like gradually over the game, like her
It's the same here.
she
I
changes the
really think it's the
performance.
same here.
My favorite.
It's not as apparent.
My favorite line
Have you
read
actually like gone back to listen to it since you've played Reload?
What,
yeah.
the original game?
Like
or,
any of the original
Yes.
alright, because like I have, and like the difference between the two feels like very like it feels much better in Reload to me.
Okay.
I will stand for the Aegis line read of
Yeah,
man.
that's so good.
It's
Oh,
It's-
all right. Here's one thing. Here's one complaint. She doesn't say "Let us strike while the iron's hot." That's fucked up. She needs to say that.
They,
I mean,
they,
does Akihiko say, "I've been
they
waiting for
dropped
this"?
a lot of
Or
are
really
you watching
iconic lines
Shinji?
for some reason, which like I don't understand why, but
Are you
What's
watching
crazy-
Shinji?
Yeah. All right. So here, about that line, I thought they cut it completely, but they didn't. It's actually in the game. Did you
Where?
know this? Did you play?
Which one?
Do you see that Shinji? Like that class?
No, I didn't.
It's all right. It's
The
in the
classic.
game. Here's how you hear it. You finish a battle as Akihiko, but you don't get an all-out attack. He'll say it.
when is that gonna happen?
And so you'll never hear it.
You'll never hear it.
Wow.
That's the
Yeah,
problem.
right.
You'll never hear it. I heard it once.
Wow, that's really
Because I was
interesting.
trying to look for it.
Although
He
Or the-
still gets a line. It's just a different. It's just not
Yeah.
as good. It's just not as good of a
They
line.
they also did do the "I've been waiting for this" as like a little gag. Did you notice that?
Yes.
There's a lot of
that was
iconic
kinda
lines
cute.
I think every character had from like original voice acting in some way. It's very.
I do miss
Lemon.
I need your help.
I need your my armor.
I need
my
your
armor.
help.
Please hit.
My armor.
My armor.
Well, that's Persona 4 Arena, which
I
doesn't exist
know,
anymore.
but I love that line. It's so funny how much she just says it. Like, we got to hear your ace defective. Like, you
I mean
know.
that's
Yeah,
just a
I mean,
line
yeah,
in the
they can't
story.
boast.
That was always going to be back.
I know, but
It's crazy that in the remake they removed the slurs. Like, I was really surprised that they.
Yeah.
it's a
removed this.
bold move.
I don't like. I don't know if it's just a more accurate to the original script or something like that. But I don't understand why I guess says "as they say" all the time now.
That has to be like an anachronism.
Oh, yeah.
From that comes from
Yeah,
the original
like-
Japanese. It just sort of seems like a thing that like Japanese games love to give like characters like catchphrases.
It's,
As the
it
kids
feels
say.
like
Yeah.
a re-localization of a common phrase that she says in the original script that just wasn't included in FES or something.
Yeah.
Because she says it a
Like
lot.
I don't-
something like eto or
does.
something like that.
Yeah.
Like it's probably like a phrase like
Or
that
like,
that's like really
"Do-do-do."
short.
As the ancient Hawaiians used to say.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't really love it.
I'm not a big fan of it, but it's
that might
fine.
just be because
She did-
I'm not used to
It
it.
it gets repeated so often that you kind of get annoyed by it.
Well, yeah,
But-
especially if you never take Aigis out of your party, which I never
Yeah.
really did.
Yeah, me neither. I dig the party unique chat of when I had a party of Yukari, Mitsuru, and Aigis where they said, "Hey,
Oh.
are you into this weird harem
Yes.
shit?" And I'm like, "Whoa, why do you call me
did
out
you,
like that?"
Did you put? You get some pretty interesting party conversations with like Shinji, depending on who you bring. Like I think Ken and Akihiko. There's like a pretty interesting one. Or
I'm
like,
not familiar with
I-
that
Ken,
one.
or Akihiko, Shinji, and Mitsuru is also a pretty good one.
Oh, I wish I'd done that.
Yeah, some
yeah,
unique
they just kinda
combinations.
reminisce.
like there's some the points where you don't have like Aegis in your party, where I'm like, I guess I have to shove Junpei in here. Like,
I just don't go to Tartarus then.
Here's something I really like is if you'll never, I would have never have done this if I didn't read it online, but if you go into Tartarus with the character you romance, you get a special like dialogue.
If it's just
like
them.
just you in the party,
Which is weird,
you in the
Fuku's
person.
really?
also on
Like,
comms.
yeah, it's funny. Fuka's deaf and muted in the call. It's fine. It's like we kind of brushed up on this earlier in the podcast, but like Persona Romance is just like so nothing. It's
yeah,
just,
it
like,
really
there,
is.
and then it's over. So like
You don't-
having this was like whoa.
But that's
That's
even
even
FPS, I'm pretty
crazy.
sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is it? Shit, never mind.
I mean,
Fuck Reload.
Persona dates never really like
Well, it's
do
voiced
much
in this.
anyway.
I think it's
like,
voiced in
Yeah, there's no
FPS
reason
too.
to
even.
Never mind. Fuck Reload. I take it back.
You know what's funny? Even Strikers has like dates moments in there, and it's very funny. There's like the one you do is on. You just get cucked by the cat if you try to do it on date in Strikers.
Weird. I've not played
But-
Strikers.
It's very weird that
Oh, yeah.
I like
If only
Strikers.
I could-
I'm a Muso fan, so like I enjoyed it, but
I got enough
It's-
I felt
like
my eyes
Muso
just glazing
stuff
over
for
as I
like
started
time
to
with
play
like
it.
Hyrule Warriors and the original Fire Emblem Warriors.
man, Fire Emblem Warriors is
Yeah,
not
it's not
good.
great.
It's pretty different from like your Dynasty Warriors type game. I mean, like the base is there, but it's pretty
Yeah.
different. Zenkichi's cool. But
Oh, Zenkichi's so cool. I want him to keep. I want more adult party members in Persona
You
games.
can't have that though.
We got the
Then it's
MILF
not
one on the
Persona
mobile
anymore.
Persona 5X. We got Persona 5X
Yeah.
now though. It has
There needs to be a Persona game where they're all adults in New York City, and then I'm the main character, and
one thing I've been
I
His
have
name is
sex
Jim.
with all the girls.
He has a podcast.
He has a podcast.
That's crazy.
the one thing
Wow,
I'm
it's so
interested in
relatable.
because like Persona 4 Arena had like aged up Persona 3 characters. I'm like, this is really cool. And then Persona 5 Arena has been rumored forever, which still hasn't
Arc
happened
isn't
though
gonna make
at all.
Persona 5 Arena. They got too much shit
Yeah,
on
they-
their plate.
I know
They got too
too.
popular.
They have a million fighting games
They
now.
forgot their
so-
roots.
But like, I would love to see adult P4 party members if they did that though. Like if he's
Shit.
because
when is-
Yukari being like a pink Power Ranger essentially is like the coolest thing ever. Like perfect.
When does Persona 4
I love
take
that.
place? 2012?
It's funny
Tomorrow.
you say that because it honestly isn't that further. It's 2 years. It's not that far ahead in the future, but it
Yeah.
feels like way longer.
Because like
does.
it's probably
There's no,
Persona
schedule,
6
I
is probably
guess.
going to take place in like around like now.
Modern day.
It's like
What
the
if it's
JoJo
COVID
lands.
inspired? How awful would that
That's such a
be?
dumb
I don't want to think
sentence.
about this.
Takes place in Hawaii instead of going to vacation in Hawaii like you did in 5.
You go to vacation to like a Missouri.
Remember in 4
That's,
you
like,
go
the
to Persona
vacation
3, you go to the school of Persona 3 and 4.
Yeah,
And
it's
you-
kind of weird, honestly.
I mean, the one returning character you see is Jim's favorite character.
Yeah, Jim's favorite character, the money launderer. She
the money laundering
Money
criminal.
laundering.
bribed her way to the top. And Mr. Edagawa.
Okay.
So it's like a gym. It's like a gym-tacular.
And you
all
play-
of Jim's
we
favorite
love-
characters. That must be your favorite part of the game, right, Jim?
I clapped so
I
hard. I thought
clapped.
so
I
hard
don't
my
remember.
fingers started
Did-
bleeding.
In the original Persona 3, did they like say the exact same thing about like the event being canceled? Like I feel like they implied more so this time around that it was Risei's event. I don't remember what exactly they said, but
Oh, I don't remember.
because like in P4 it's
Oh, I don't
confirmed that
remember either.
Risei was the one that was having the event at when Hermit is
Yeah,
going on.
Oh, that was a
Yeah, yeah.
portable thing. I'm pretty sure they added that
What?
portable.
Hmm.
You're talking about the nightclub.
Right, the nightclub stuff. Risei, no, that's in
With the-
P4.
The King's game. They gotta
The
play the
King's
King's
game
game,
thing.
ain't no.
Yeah,
nobody
I
gonna
know.
stop
I mean that reference to Persona 4 was added in portable.
Was it?
that. Okay.
Yes.
Interesting.
Indeed.
I guess that also added the Yukiko thing.
Yeah,
with the
Risei,
episode
best
wrap,
girl.
so-
There was no Catherine thing in Reload.
Game's ruined.
It's messed up.
How can they
Different.
not have
There was-
guy
there was
that
no-
looks like Vincent?
Guy that coincidentally looks like Vincent Cannon.
At the bar talking about vague events from Catherine, maybe.
Totally different guy.
Don't copy my homework. But yeah, anything else then?
Shit.
That's honestly that we kind of hit all the main points. We talked about the music. Oh, I had one last bone to grind about.
Sorry, Jim, we're
music.
out of time. I'm cutting you off. I'm playing the Academy nominee music.
So, I tweeted about this. I like the new tracks. So there's I think 3 new like fully fledged tracks.
It's gotta be more than that.
I think maybe
Right?
there's like 3 like completely
Full Moon
new.
Live,
So the ones I'm thinking
Color
of are
Night, It's Going Down.
and it's going down now. Those are the only 3
Now.
that I can think of that were fully new
Is there not any
to
more
this
than that?
game. Everything else was just like a
Changing
remix.
Seasons is
Yeah,
pretty new
that's-
because it has a whole new
Yeah,
verse.
because it
Or
had
like
the
the
French
chorus is
proverbs in the
English
original.
now, but I like this new version.
I like
Uh,
both versions. They're really
yeah. I
good.
like so that was one that like
Well, yeah,
I actually did like that new version. But I really loved like the new tracks. Like I love the Color Your Night song. I think that song's amazing. But it really to me it feels like a scrap Persona 5 song, and I feel like it has like the sound like ambiance of like a Persona 5 song, and even though it's got like the Persona 3 vocalists, like it's got, I don't know, to me there's something about that really feels like it belongs, like it just feeds into my like Persona 5ification.
I think it
theory
might
of
just be
this
like
game.
the style of Kitajo. Like I think it's just his composing style is what you're thinking of. Because he was involved with a lot of Persona 5 tracks.
But well, yeah, but like I don't know. To me, especially, it's that organ. Like the organ is like very heavily used. The way that the organ is heavily used in it, as well as like the bass line. There's like a certain, I can't explain it, but to me, it
I don't know,
feels like a
'cause,
Persona 5
there's
song.
a lot of
Um,
electrical organ on the P3 soundtrack. So
But not in like, I don't know, the P3 soundtrack. I don't know. It's hard. I can't explain it. It is merely a feeling. Color Your Night is a great song though. I'm not complaining, but to me
It sounds like you're
it doesn't
complaining,
really
Jim.
feel like a Persona
I
3
don't know.
song.
I feel like a lot of
Well,
the
it's not, it's
changes
Persona 3
in
really isn't.
Reload were also kind of like they felt obligatory just to refresh the experience, and because there wasn't necessarily anything wrong with them in the original, but at the same time you can't just leave them the same if you're remaking the entire game. Like look at these images that we have here between like the original portrait of the character and the sort of stuff that we have in Reload. Like if you just threw that portrait into Reload, it would look so out of place.
Yeah.
Yeah, there was definitely. That's why, like, going back to like the very beginning of the podcast, like the lighting in the dorm, it feels so noticeable just because everything else got the overhaul. And like it just literally this one screenshot, if I remember, I'll include it in the podcast, of just seeing like the models for Mitsuru, seeing like the portrait of Mitsuru, the box, like the text boxes, everything looks good, and then I don't know, the dorm just, it's lacking any sauce, like it's sauceless, if you will.
Well, what
where
is lighting this entire dorm?
That's like the
thing.
question. That is my question. Like, and what you guys were saying about like turning the brightness down, that's really funny. Maybe I should have tried that. But yeah, like even if you look at the screenshot above it, like comparing it to just like a random Persona 3 Fest screenshot, it's so much like drearier. There's like a down, like the lighting feels like more intentional. I don't know.
Should have just been a
It's
JPEG
weird
I
that-
had. Would have been
It
much
feels
easier
like
for
the
you guys.
dorm is the only
unironically,
location
that looks
off,
bi-
though,
that looks
which
better.
is strange.
No.
I do.
I'm glad you said this because the shrine at night looks awful.
Really?
I think it actually looks bad. Yes. I genuinely think this. It is so blue. They blew the fuck out of that place, and I couldn't stand it. I think it looks worse than the dorm.
But there's certain things like
don't
Iwatodai
go there a
Station I think looks
I need
better
to
in
look at it.
Reload. Everything with the cherry blossoms at Tatsumi Port Island just like looks really good, of course. What else is there? Like just generally outside of the dorm, everything looks really pretty, and like the lighting looks like it's done well.
Yeah, it's.
So I'm not sure what's going on with the dorm.
It's weird. Yeah, it's weird that is like the one area, because like just looking at, I'm just gonna. This is just it's pure cherry picking, but I'm just like looking at other ones and like I mean here we've got like really nice dynamic lighting. Like it feels like you're outside, like the way it's lit. Like it feels like it's like later in the day.
Bleed effect coming from like the top right of the screen, where it's just like kind of got that orange glow going in, and yeah, like outside it feels really like it's specific and like intentional.
I hate to say like the fucking Mr. Plinkett line, but I think it's literally like the light source thing. Like you don't think about like where the light source is coming from, but your brain notices it, and like that's why the dorm feels so off. I think because it's like it feels uncanny. I think that's the best way of saying it. But we've shot so much on the dorm, it's almost not. It's almost not fair.
We're glazing this game for 2.5 hours.
The dorm is the place you come back to every day. Like it's kind of important.
You guys were very. You guys really hated that lighting.
It was literally like one of the first things they showed us.
You know what looks
very
really
funny.
good,
We're like, I have no way to compare it compared to you guys.
Well, even in portable, you can see what's going on with the lighting. Like, it's just screenshots of like.
In that, it's even more dramatic.
Well, then, I mean, also like the save log is glowing for some reason. But
all right.
hey.
That said, though, shitting on.
Well, you gotta
that said, though, even after shitting on the
change.
dorm, the school looks much better in Reload. I think, like the blue atmosphere is perfect.
Yeah.
Like it feels pristine.
It feels
like
in
this
school
like upper class private school kind of thing. It
I know,
feels like really good.
I know Jim has one big bone to pick with the school, and the one mechanic is that they took away the bathroom mechanic.
But that's that's the mechanic.
Oh no, you can't get you can't get superb. Also, I literally thought the game glitched like when I first went into the bathroom, because like when you use the bathroom, the character thinks about like something like relevant.
Oh yeah.
And so I went to the bathroom, and he like literally unprompted said, "I have seeds growing on this date," and I was like, "Did it load the wrong dialogue here?" Like, but no. And then after I was like, "Oh no, this actually is like a way to."
It's actually like a Dr. Steve Brule like thinking in his head. Like,
oh, just a random thought I had like looking at some of the screenshots of the game. A lot of people going into the game were like, oh, why is everything like water themed now with the interface and stuff like that? I adore that. I think it's that little thing that Persona 3 needed a bit more of, like that kind of visual motif association, and I think water is the perfect thing to use for that.
Really makes it pop.
It makes sense. They're on a port. They're in like a port town, like
the Sea of Souls.
Yeah, I think that makes a lot of sense.
Especially with the blue motif, it just
especially in the credits theme where like you're essentially like falling into just like nothingness, basically.
Yeah,
it's very good.
But
Persona 3, pretty good game. I liked it. I enjoyed it.
My new favorite game of all time.
They should make another one. I can't wait for Persona 4 Remake. Persona 4 Remake is going to be the bestest game ever to see Chie in HD.
Yeah, I really don't want a Persona 4 Remake. Can we skip that one?
Please do 1
it's
and 2 first.
I mean, it'll happen in 7 years. It'll just...
After Persona 6, which is like the one detail, like green is the color from the leak.
We do know. Yeah, we do know green
That's
is the
gonna be
color.
so weird. What do you like? Cool. Is it just gonna be Plant Life? Plant Life would be cool.
Okay. I have one thing, like, thought, like, are they gonna do another thing like Persona 5 where they get a different outfit when they go to do whatever dungeon's
gonna be?
Now. I would fucking
Sam
die if they did bring Featherman into the mainstream.
Featherman.
Like, it feels like it's gonna
whenever
be
they do,
stuff.
I trust the plan.
I can see it being like a superhero theme or something, but they get a
where else
superhero
can you
outfit or
go?
something.
I would not want
The one thing...
horrors. They could be all like horror themed, like sexy and like. Oh wait, that was just every Persona game.
Well, they better be sexy.
1,000 years more of a different Persona discourse. And various
I could see them doing like maybe like a fantasy theme.
But
like,
we have
It would be
ReFantazio.
really
Metaphor
funny
game.
If
Okay.
no, they need to do this. It would be really funny.
The
One of
Persona
us is
4
gonna have to change.
the Persona 4 remake where you actually can romance Yusuke.
Wow.
That's the
Yusuke's
true
in that
fantasy.
game too.
I
That's
I
crazy.
really
It's
like.
Persona 5 dick sucking.
I
It's
heard
gone
this
so
theory
far.
at some point, but like Yusuke
First
becoming the new
Yosuke.
demon painter in Persona 6. I don't know. Something about that theory has always been like
Oh,
really
that'd be
funny
awesome.
to me, but also really kind of cool.
Would you like if they had like a past Persona character be like a mentor character to, or like involved in like the story of that
Maybe.
game?
I would want it to be someone no one would want.
Yeah.
The moon return.
like Yosuke, like Yosuke or something.
It would
like-
have to be like a social
like
link
it
character.
needs to
even-
be.
Like
He's the main
no
villain.
returning party members.
I'd like that.
No.
Yeah, I think a really solid social
Okay,
choice would be really really
The
cool.
other thing me and Jim talked about, we like want like no more talking animal mascot party
Please.
member.
They're going
I'm
to
over
though.
Teddy was
like,
such a fucking mistake.
even in
They will, I'm over
ReFantazio, we
it.
got Bunny Guy, which like not really a mascot.
Persona
character,
X
but,
has one too.
You know, it's pretty much.
Persona 5X has like that owl, like a
Yeah.
talking owl.
But
Yeah, the
Persona
new
5X
mobile,
I
is
Chinese
also
mobile
please.
game.
Persona 5X.
Well,
Like,
we've had a dog, but we haven't had a talking dog yet.
oh god, please don't make worse Koromaru.
It's so frustrating. Like Morgana is also like the most like infuriating.
Everybody
character, too,
hates
so it doesn't
Morgana.
help.
Like Teddy has some fans.
I think Morgana is like
Morgana-
better than
Teddy is like
though.
Teddy's kind of funny.
Yeah, depending on what side of the bed I wake up on, I'll defend
The
it
weird
till
thing
the
about
day.
Morgana is
But
like,
Morgana, like I
Morgana
hate-
feels less offensive than Teddy, but also like no one likes Morgana.
The
And some
Ryuji-
people like Teddy.
Yeah, that whole arc's like the robbing like Haru of like an actual like, introduction arc. Not great, and also just being the thing that makes you not not be able to go out by telling you to go to bed.
He's literally your dad. He's like
I
literally
feel
your
like-
dad in the whole
And
game.
also,
that
he
little
annoyingly
bit
simps
of-
over on, and it's just like
It's problems like these with Persona 5 that really make me wish we'd get a remake
Yeah,
of
true. Can we get that one next?
Royal. Royal does like has like the best like final boss ever.
They should. There needs to be a Persona 5 D-make. Make it like Persona 3. Where's the Persona 3ification of Persona 5?
Okay. All right.
God.
Actually,
Now that would be interesting.
relevant.
That
All
is
right.
epic.
So,
Oh God.
Persona 4 Rewind, Persona 4 Rerun, or something else.
Okay,
Okay,
hear me out.
here's-
Persona 4, the Golden. Huh? Never happened.
Genius. I like that. Ship it.
Marie cut from the game.
I like Persona 4 Rerun because, and here's why. Yes, you have like old CRT TVs, but you go into flat screens in Junes, and it doesn't make sense for them to have VCRs. That's the only reason why. That's why Rewind.
Also,
would bug me.
replay is an
Persona 4
option.
reboot.
But you can rewind on not a VCR.
Yeah, but everyone knows what you're talking about when you say rewind tape.
I don't know. I
Persona
like
4
Rerun
Revengeance. I
most.
think.
Rerun, I think Rerun is a really good one. It's kind of cute. It like implies that,
I like that.
you're just experiencing your favorite watermelon
It's
scene over
gonna be something
again.
related to glasses or something, because
Yeah, oh my god. Can we like remake Persona 4 when Twitter is dead and buried at least, so I don't have to see people talking about it anymore?
It's gonna be
more
really
Persona
annoying.
discourse, and 6 is only gonna add more discourse in some way.
Whatever ends up happening,
Man, these
just
Persona games are
more
really
years
good
of
when you
Three
don't have a
Houses
bitch in your ear
discourse.
telling you they're problematic.
How about Persona Rekindle? Persona 4
Mm-hmm.
Rekindle. Or Re-enter. Persona 4 Re-enter. Persona 4 Repeat. That's kind of... Rerun is just better than
Rerun
Repeat.
has the TV connotations.
Reboot.
Reboot could be one.
Yeah, I
But
think
that,
that works.
that has like two specific.
Persona 4 Reboot would be
connotations
so
for,
on the
like,
nose.
A game, you know.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It'd be really funny.
Persona 4 Remember.
I mean, that could work.
Remember Persona 4?
Persona 4. I mean, it would get memed to hell and back, but like, that kind of does fit like Corner of Memories and stuff like that. I don't know.
I'm literally just looking at a list of words beginning with RE. Persona 4
Resident Evil.
Persona 4
Requirement.
Rebirth. Because we didn't get it with 3.
Yeah.
Well, they already did that one.
Reunion.
Do you think that Aerith's gonna live in that one too? I'm just kidding. I haven't played the game. It's not a spoiler. I don't know if she lives or dies. She might.
Find
I
out
could
next
care less.
time.
I'm waiting for the Final Fantasy IX remake that's been rumored for years.
I should play a Final Fantasy
But-
game for the first time at some point.
I'm
Well,
playing
you
Final
always get-
Fantasy 5 right now.
You can get in the Final Fantasy 14, which has the goes
No,
up to
I
the
actually
Stormblood.
have-
And I
expansion.
think that
I
just
played
about
like
does
2
it,
hours of
everyone.
14.
Huh?
Wait, which one is 5?
It's the one with
Which one's Final
Gilgamesh
Fantasy
Gilgamesh.
and the job system.
Well, Gilgamesh is also in 14.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so is the job system.
We call him
it-
Greg.
Yeah, Greg's in it.
I feel like
Greg
I've
is great.
absorbed
Greg-
everything
Greg's
about
in-
Final Fantasy though, from just like cultural osmosis.
Yeah.
Yeah, me too.
It's different, man. Playing them's a whole different
Also,
thing.
I've played every Bravely Default, so
If you want the definitive, Final Fantasy experience, play Kingdom Hearts. You can meet
I've played
Leon.
Kingdom Hearts a lot too. I played everything except Final Fantasy proper.
You-
I'll probably end
I
up
think my
playing Final
introduction to
Fantasy
Yuffie
Tactics
was-
first too.
or-
Yeah, whenever that
You
remaster
can
comes
meet
out.
you can meet Yuffie. You can meet Leon.
Leon, Yuffie, Cloud, who they fused Vincent and Cloud together into one.
Wait, is 5 the one that has like all the different main characters like you swap around, or is that a different one?
I think.
No, that's 6.
Is that
6
6?
has the
Okay.
really large cast.
I think we're running out of steam at this point. This isn't even about P3.
Yeah, I
We're
am
talking
very
about fucking
hungry.
Final Fantasy.
I am so hungry right now.
Okay, all right, let's end this. So we all really like this
Yeah,
game.
thumbs up if it's on sale and don't spend $70.
Don't spend $70. Wait for the DLC. Hold the line.
Yeah, hold. All right, plug.
Oh my god, this is almost 3 hours.
Yeah.
Jesus
Yeah.
fucking
All right,
Christ, where'd the time
Persona
go?
3,
Guess.
3
Plug.
hours. Coincidence?
Genius. Wow, we're so great.
Bravo,
And if
Hoshino.
you're playing Persona 4, you're still not into the first dungeon yet in Persona 4. All right,
Precisely.
who wants to
Alright,
plug
Aeon.
first?
Aeon, plug
okay,
your shit.
I'm Star. Currently, I am doing live streams of new JoJo Lands chapters, and hopefully some other cool stuff in the future. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yay.
All right.
Tech, it's time to plug.
Okay. Tectonic Improv. I make YouTube videos. I just made one a little while ago talking about everyone's favorite bad boy Shinjiro from this podcast, the character from the game we're talking about in the podcast. Wow, amazing.
Wow. Epic. All right. Plug up the rest. I'll plug up the whole when Shinji.
Oh wait, one last thing I want to say. I want to plug that one video that you made forever ago about the figuring out who everyone is on that Persona art, the Persona cover.
Oh shit. Yes.
I love that video. I've watched it like 3 times.
Oh shit.
I think
Thank
that
you.
video's.
That's
it's so cool.
an indie classic.
I'll link these.
Yeah. Let me see. I'll find it later.
All right.
All right. One more thing I want to say from my list. I want to end the podcast with this because it's dark knowledge. So, for the faint of heart, turn back now if you want to truly enjoy Persona 3 Reload.
Rewind. You would
yeah.
say.
If you rewind, you don't want to know this. This is dark knowledge. Okay. So, in Persona 3 Reload, when your character moves, they glide across the ground, and it is so annoying. It annoyed the fuck out of me this entire game. And once you know about this, once you see this, you will not be able to unsee it.
On the other hand, if
Okay,
you just
thank you.
tap
Beat
the
the game.
stick a bunch of times, you can glide across the floor. It's pretty cool. It's like your Jesus.
Anybody else want to? Anybody have their dark vent they want to do, or should we do the last plug?
I think you're go for
All
it.
right. Thank you everybody for listening. If you like the episode, please like, subscribe, leave a review, tell a friend, whatever. You know the drill. You can follow everybody on their Twitter accounts on the link. And I am so hungry right now. I am about to pass out.
You need a wild duck burger or whatever the fuck it's
Hell
called.
yeah.
I'm kind of a Big
His
Bang
courage
Burger
is high
guy
enough.
instead, but hey.
All right, yeah, thank you guys for joining us. Thank you all for listening, and we'll see you at Metaphor
Yeah.
Fantasio.
Excited for that one.
Yeah.
Peace.
Bye.